Hey, broadcast. Okay, so first, the first thing I want to say is that we always do this thing where we just like a countdown to starting our audio recordings because it's two separate recordings. And after like one time that I fucked up and I wasn't sure if Marissa meant on 3 or after 3, now every time she does it, she's like, okay, on 3. Because I'm an idiot.
It was like an embarrassing 15 minutes of us just trying to figure out how to start it at the same time, which really wouldn't matter too much. We could just switch it around.
Yeah, it's not. It's just it's just easier in editing if they start at the same time, because I can just line them up and hope it's fine the whole time. Yeah, it's just stupid. Because I fucked up like twice. And now
we're very advanced.
Now that's just the way that
we're not college graduates yet, okay? We're allowed some stupidity.
Oh god, yeah. Fuck. So I also made I made a list of things that I wanted to talk about before. We're recording this on Saturday. So this will probably come out tomorrow, which will be Sunday, or today if you're listening to it on Sunday. I still haven't really decided what we're gonna do, if it's gonna be permanently Sunday or permanently Monday. I don't know yet. I like the idea of Monday, but it's gonna depend.
We're slowly but steadily trying to figure out how to add videos. Hopefully we can increase our subscribers, and then way later maybe we can figure out how to stream and whatnot.
Yeah, live streaming is the ultimate goal, but we'll see.
Especially with your internet.
Oh my god. Here's the thing. If we're going to do any kind of live stream stuff, it would have to be probably over the summer when I'm back in the Bay Area, and we would just do it that way.
We could just pre-record 50 hours.
Also, here's the thing. As of August, our lease is up in August, and we are going to fucking leave. So the dream is that wherever we are after the end of the summer or whatever, we'll have better internet, because this is just the worst thing. And it's not, I don't want to say it's any fault of AT&T, because I have AT&T at home. It's fine. It's just where we are, it sucks. And nobody told us really which, and we had to get internet so quickly because we were moving at the last second. This whole thing, probably told the story before, whatever. But because of that, we just it just sucks so much ass. Honestly, most of the time when we record these podcasts is when I'm the only one home, because that way there's the less of I can't talk. We've been recording for 2 minutes and 51 seconds, and I fucked up once already.
And it's over. Oh yeah, tell them the upload speed difference between your school and your apartment for podcasts.
Okay. Yeah. So I usually this is upload from my computer to YouTube. And so it's usually an hour to an hour and a half long video, which is, I don't know what that is in gigabytes. I don't remember off the top of my head. But it's a certain number of gigs file, whatever. At home, it takes me an hour usually to upload. An hour to hour 15. Go to the library on campus. It takes less than 10 minutes. So that's part of the reason I'm kind of pushing the idea of a Monday podcast, is because it'll be easier for me to just do it from school, and I'll do all the editing and stuff on Sunday and then release it on a Monday, I think, because we were doing Sunday night anyway, so it wouldn't be that much of a difference to do Sunday night versus Monday during the day, because a lot of the people that do listen to it are probably not going to be able to. They wouldn't listen to it Sunday night anyway, I think, because most people, by the time it goes up, most people are usually asleep. So it wouldn't be the end of the world to do it Monday morning or Monday during the day instead. I don't imagine there will ever be a set time to upload. It'll just be Monday whenever, because I just don't necessarily have the ability to predict exactly every day when it's going to upload. I think you can queue stuff, I think, on YouTube and set it to publish at a certain time, but I don't really care enough. It'll just be Monday whenever. We have 10 viewers. Who cares?
Sorry, Taylor, I almost forgot about the advent calendar.
Oh my god.
Taylor and I think it's time that you all knew the truth about Taylor and I. And although we love Halo and Destiny, we love Neopets, and I'm not ashamed of that anymore, okay?
Here's the thing about that. Is that was a really popular thing when we were in I remember it was 5th grade. And we like got back into it again recently, and I honestly don't know why. And I think it has something to do with the fact that like every single game on that website is fun as fuck, and it's a really awesome way of avoiding doing work. And I admit that. Whatever. I am 20 years old, and you know what? This is the life that I've chosen.
Okay, Taylor, so remember I told you Jocelyn's new roommate? Somehow Neopets came up, like, casually. It was just him and I talking about it. And I really forget how it came up, but I was like, yeah, Neopets. And he was like, oh, like, I think I've heard of that. And I was like, yeah, like, in, like, Club Penguin. He was like, what? And I'm like, and I had to explain to him Club Penguin because he's almost 30. So I was like, okay, basically, you're a virtual penguin, and you get, an igloo, and, the membership's, like, really cheap, $8 a month. And he was like, what do you pay for it? And I'm like, whoa, buddy, private. Like, don't, like, that's private. And so I was talking to him, and then he was like, just being an ass, like, oh, what do you do in the igloo? And I was like, well, actually, one time Club Penguin was invaded by people who would come in and, like, cybersex on Club Penguin. And that's why it's so strict, because, like, when Taylor and I talk on it, I have to ask, like, did you get my message? Because it's so censored now after that incident.
Yeah, that was the thing that when this was really popular. I think it first got popular maybe 4th grade, 5th grade, something like that. So when we were, like, 10, maybe. And
I think I think Taylor and I both had our membership from, like, 5th grade to, like, fairly recently until, like,
I had to cancel mine for a long time because I'm poor as shit. But yeah, and it's like, it's funny because even then, like, back when we were like 12 or something like that, it was always like we would be sitting in the same room next to each other, but one of us wouldn't see the other person's message because, like, on the site, because they had to censor it so bad because people were just being freaks on a goddamn kid's website. Like,
and now that we're older, I honestly think it was 4chan people that were just like, it would be funny, because who else would do that? It was like hundreds of people for weeks until they figured out how to filter it, like, I remember at first it was like you couldn't even really type. Anyway, no one cares about this, but the point is,
no, people care. The people gotta hear it.
I had to explain it to this, like, almost 30-year-old guy, and he was like, oh my god, do you still play that? And I was like, no. And I was like, for part of me was like, I could pull up my laptop and show him my igloo, and I was like, no, let's just
end it now.
Whole conversation. Just end it. Because I've done that to people. I've been like, hey, like as a kid, I'd be like, Mom, come see my igloo.
Oh my god, right? Like, that was my poor parents had to, like, every single goddamn website it was a part of, I had to, like, oh my god, Mom, look at this cool thing I'm doing on this thing that you clearly don't care about, but you have to because I'm your child.
Right? And, like, my mom...
Look at me, Neopet. She's like, that's nice, sweetie. I'm trying to cook.
No, that's great. Neopet, so I was in, because I'd switch back and forth between your guild and Diana and Charlotte's guild, because I was torn.
So fun fact, back in the day on Neopets, I don't know how to do it anymore, if it's still really that much of a thing. But back in the day, back in, like, the sort of 5th grade, 6th grade day, you could, which was, for us, like, 10 years ago. It's weird to think that something was 10 years ago. I'm really old. But you could make, like, a guild, and it was like, I don't know how to, I have no words to describe it for people that, like, weren't part of it and didn't experience this, because, like, there's no way I can describe it without it sounding stupid. It's just like, it was basically like your own version of, like, almost like a private message board where you could just, like, talk to your friends.
Like a virtual club, kind of, but private. You could let in
naturally
people.
It was really cool.
Obviously.
Yeah.
Anyway, so I remember, because, like, it was always my mom and I, so, like, she was kind of a pushover, and I wouldn't want to go to school lunch, let me stay home, whatever. I was a brat / I was, like, really homesick and, like, obsessed with my mom because I was, weird. But anyway, and so there was Charlotte and Diana were auctioning off, I think it was, like, Cloud paintbrush, and I skipped school the entire day to win it. I was like, Mom, look, I was really early, it was, like, 7 a.m., I was there because you could auction things virtually on Neopets, so I was there really early, like, 7 a.m. before school, and I was all ready for school, waiting to win, and then my mom's like, hey, it's time to go, and I was like, Mom, I can't leave today. Like, I have to win this paintbrush.
When was this? How old were we at this point?
This was middle school, because I wasn't really friends with Charlotte until
like early middle school or like late middle school, because I don't remember this.
Probably early, probably like 6th grade, because if we really got into it in like 5th or 6th grade, it was probably around then.
Yeah, it was probably 6th, maybe 7th at the latest or something like that.
Maybe 7th, yeah. No way 8th, but probably really early.
So for those, so we can fit this in the timeline for people. This was like 2006 or something like that.
Yeah, so whatever you cool people were actually doing with your lives, I was skipping 7th grade to win a virtual paintbrush to paint my virtual pet for an absurd amount of virtual money that I spent way too long to earn. And I finally
in real time.
I had my real time.
Fuck. When you put it that way, my life was a waste. For so
and by
long.
the way, Taylor and I lost access to our accounts, our original Neopets that had so much good stuff.
Yeah, I can like look up too the like. I don't remember it off the top of my head.
Yeah, mine was Coca-Cola_drinker.
Yeah, I don't remember my original username off the top of my head.
Which seemed really cool when I first.
I think I have it written down somewhere, but I know that if I go to that page, because it shows you how long somebody has been like a member. I know if right now I were to go to that page, it would just be like this impossibly long time, like 12 years.
I know, and it's frustrating too because I tried to do forget password and it said I had too many accounts registered to one email, so it couldn't tell me. So I was like, why would you let me register like 7 accounts to one email if you're not going to let me access that?
My problem
was, and of course we were kids, so we always lied about our age, so you can't like enter your birthday to get the password.
Yeah, I was just about to say that's the reason that I can't access mine. I've tried a lot, just because I apparently have too much time on my hands and it would be entertaining. Because to recover your password you have to enter your birthday because they want to like make sure it's really you or whatever trying to get your password. And then I was like, wait, and I put in my birthday and I was like, I wouldn't have put my real birthday because I was 9. I was like, shit, I lied about my birthday and now I don't know what I put.
Yeah, and by the time middle school rolled around, I figured out to just do January 5th, 1990 or something. And
I would always do like July 11th. I think I usually did 1980.
Oh, that's
because it was easy. It was easy for me to remember. Now,
and Taylor was like a lot better than HTML, but like Diana showed me.
I'm still really good at HTML because of that.
Taylor is good. I'm like a grandpa, but looking at mine now, there's like 3 Napoleon Dynamite GIFs or GIFs or whatever they are, and then there's like a banana phone, and then one is a picture of a spork that says, "If annoyed further, I shall spork your eyes out."
Oh my god, that's like you know who probably.
And there's my Neopet with the cloud paintbrush, painted cloud.
You know what, like, old Neopets page reminds me of? It's, like, Scene Kids' old MySpace pages. It was always like, random, LOL, like, stuff like that. I hate that voice.
And my Neopet's name was Bob the Builder.
I don't remember, I don't remember my username off the top of my head, otherwise I'd look it up and, because the thing is I remember my original username had something to do with the name of my, like, guinea pig. But I don't remember, like, which order the, like, numbers and stuff were in, so I can't find it. But if I were to, I would say something crazy like, oh my god, you've been a member for 13 years, or something crazy like that.
Yeah, mine just says 7.5. And then there was this guy named Raymond that I would, like, bother a lot, and he thought I was, like, slow because I'd go, "Hi, Raymond," every time I saw him and really irritate him. And I made up this, like, I made him a fake Neopet account called, like, Raymond_Dragon. He got really into it and be like, guys, I found Raymond's Neopet. And I spread this rumor about it. People would be like, Raymond Dragon. He had no idea what anyone was talking about. And, like, a couple of people obviously figured out that it was me because it's too funny. But
I think I was one of the original people that was like, okay, this is, and the reason, I remember specifically, too, the reason that I figured it out was because somebody had, like, sent, quote, Raymond a message, and, like, this is, like, the original catfishing right here, and, quote, Raymond had responded, like, you know, like, oh, my favorite color is red because it, like, soothes me, or something really, like, random and ridiculous. I was like, okay, I know who this is now. I was like, okay, this is Marissa Charlotte, like.
Oh, so funny. And Maria didn't even know till freshman year of high school, and she was, like, really upset that, like, her whole life had been a lie because she thought it was Raymond.
Well, part of it, too, is nobody had mentioned anything because, like, we all had, like, assumed that, like, everybody knew, I guess. Like, I guess it was just, like, such a known thing at that point that, like, everybody just knew for themselves that it was, like... Yeah, everybody, like, knew in their own head that it wasn't true, so we didn't ever really need to, like, talk about it to each other because we all just
like,
knew.
Maybe it was, like, less than a month that it, like, slowly built in my mind, because I remember we were like, okay, we gotta, like, have him play for a little while before we, like, leak it. It was way too overly planned, okay?
Leak the information. What was this in, like, 6th grade, 7th grade, or something like that?
Yeah, 6th, 7th, I think.
Oh, God.
Or it might have been... No, I think it was 7th. I was like, it could have been 8th, but
I think it was pretty early on.
Anyway, Taylor, tell us about your week.
Oh, my God. Okay.
We've talked a half an hour, 40 minutes about Neopets. I apologize.
I don't. I'm sorry for nothing. It's only been 15 minutes. Fuck off. Yeah, so I have a list. Yeah, as I said, I have a list of things that I, like, wanted to talk about. Just because, like, like I said, we're doing this on Saturday. And part of the reason that I make dumb lists like this is because I like to talk about stuff when it's like fresh in my memory, because sometimes I'll just forget. There's just like weird things that like that I'm like, oh my God, I want to talk about this because this is bizarre. But if I don't talk about it right away, I'll forget.
Yeah.
So
that's literally my grandpa will interrupt anyone saying anything because it's like, I'm going to forget it. I'll say it right now. It's like, oh, okay,
he's like
grandpa,
old enough
fine.
that I'm like okay with that. I'm
I know,
just
but
an
he's done
idiot.
his whole life.
Oh, he's been doing it forever.
Continue. Forever, yeah. He's like, I'm gonna forget, and we're like, and what he has to say, like, I love my grandpa, but it's never anything urgent that needs to be said now. Never. It's never like, this is life or death. It's always like, let me tell you this anyway.
Pick on. Yeah, I do that sometimes with like certain things. If it's like I'm trying to, I can't think of something off the top of my head that I consider important enough to interrupt somebody, you know what I mean? Like off the top of my head. But if it is something I consider important enough that I'm like, okay, this person needs to know this like immediately, the only time I'll just outright be like, excuse me, I have something to say, is if I've been trying to get their attention forever and it's something that's genuinely important, you know what I mean? If like, you know what I mean? Like for instance, if Marissa's talking to somebody and I'm like trying to be like, hey, Marissa, like, hey, finally I'll just be like, hey, this is happening, pay attention to it, you know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
Just stuff like that. If it's like something that's genuinely important and somebody's like not listening to me, I'm like, hey, this is really important. You need to know about this immediately. Like, please pay attention now. Yeah. So first thing on my list, I met Dave Navarro last night, which is,
I wanted to make some kind of joke about like how many hot goss does it take to blank, but I spend like a whole day and I haven't thought of a joke. So.
I mean, if you do think of it, feel free to tweet it because it would make me laugh. There's a couple stories that go along with me meeting Dave Navarro as well. So I was in Burbank, and it was like a signing thing for this documentary that you should absolutely watch if anybody's interested in documentaries. It's a documentary about his mother's murder back in the day, and it's like really well done, and it's like tragic too, obviously, and so it's like really, it's kind of like hard to watch, but it's done so well that I really appreciate the way that it kind of did that whole thing justice. And Todd Newman directed it, who is a funny guy too. I used to watch Dark Matter radio all the time. Todd Newman, funny dude. And so I met them yesterday at this place in Burbank, and it was cool. And so like I was telling my roommate about this, that like, because I made a comment that I was like surprised at how nice people were, and it's like I wasn't like saying that like I assume people are going to be assholes. But in the sense that, like, I operate under the assumption that a famous person is not going to care about me. You know what I mean? That's, like, my base assumption is that, like, okay, people don't give it, you know what I mean? Like, they're just trying to do whatever, and, like, I was like, okay, I'm going to be in and out, whatever, fine. And it was, like, it was interesting because for the people that don't know, like, I'm huge into music. Like, I have been for a really long time, like, it's almost as long as I can remember. Oops. Sorry, my headphone fell out of my ear, and it's I made a whole thing. I'll have to tell.
Your headphone went AWOL.
Like, I was gonna say I'll edit it out, but I'm not going to because it's funny. Yeah. So I've always looked up to Dave Navarro as a guitar player. For people that haven't seen Jane's Addiction live, add that to your bucket list. It's incredible. Perry Farrell too is a mess, and I love it. Live. That I saw them at Bottle Rock in Napa like 3 years ago or something like that, and Perry Farrell was just fucking drinking wine the whole time, and it was just like the funniest thing I've ever, like, straight up like bottle of wine, carrying it around. But yeah, so add that to your bucket list because Navarro is an incredible guitarist. But yeah, so for people that don't know, I'm huge into them, and I'm huge into Navarro too because he was one of the main reasons I initially bought a guitar when I was like 14 or something like that. 14 or 15 maybe, which now I guess is a longer time ago than I thought it was. I was going to say it's fairly recently, but it's not. I'm 20 goddamn years old.
My first and only guitar was a heart-shaped guitar, and I only got it because I thought if I learned guitar, Sean Cohen would fall in love with me.
I like have no words for that.
Fun fact.
How old was this? How old were you at this point?
4th grade. Because I loved Hilary Duff, and there was a picture of Hilary Duff with the same guitar, so I was like, oh, I gotta have it.
Yeah, see, my guitar, and, my acoustic, I have...
Taylor was actually cool, and mine was like...
Well, I've never been cool. But yeah, my...
Well, you are in Long Beach. It's hot in Long Beach all the time.
No, I got it. I'm just choosing to ignore. But yeah, I have a electric bass and I have an acoustic guitar. I used to have an acoustic electric guitar that was really cool. It was a Brownsville, but it was my aunt's and I was like long-term borrowing it. I think it's still at my parents' house, but it's not actually mine. But yeah, this acoustic guitar was actually designed by Navarro, and it's great. Honestly, as far as guitars go, it's for people that are interested in that kind of shit. The sound is really awesome. It sounds good, acoustic and plugged in as well. It has, you know what I mean? You don't lose any of the sound. It's really awesome. But yeah, so I was super, as you can tell, I was like super stoked to meet him in Newman last night. And part of the thing that I was talking about with like assuming that celebrities don't have time for regular people, you know what I mean? Regular people. But yeah, I was just like, it was like
the normies.
Yeah, it was nice because I just assumed it was going to be like a sort of, you know, in and out, whatever thing. But I was like pleasantly surprised at like, you know, the fact that like somebody like that would be very like attentive and interested in what you had to say. And, you know, it seemed very genuine. And I appreciated that a lot, you know what I mean? Because I don't have a lot of encounters with famous people, you know what I mean? But when I have it, like Comic-Con and stuff, like we met Josh Peck at Comic-Con. He's a funny dude, you know, but it was not it was not really a similar experience because there was a ton of people and it was just like in and out, take a quick picture maybe, and it was like...
And you could tell Josh like lives and dies on attention. Like, I love him, but then once we followed him on Snapchat and Vine, we were like, oh, okay, like, this is all this guy knows how to do is get, like, attention, and, like, he's funny and everything, but but where Dave is, like, a real professional, actual famous person.
Absolutely, yeah. I was half expecting him to be a prick, to be completely honest, and not because, like, I had heard stories about him being a prick, but just because, like, I feel like somebody that's, like, I guess because he seems so cool to me. You know what I mean? Like, when I look at him, I'm like, that is a cool dude, you know? And so when I see somebody like that, I'm like, there's no way they're also going to be nice. Now, he was the nicest dude in the world. And he was, like, super attentive. He wanted to, like, you know what I, you know, like, oh, you know, he wanted to know what's up, like, you know, what my name was, what was going on. Like, I had, like, a conversation with the guy, you know what I mean? Which was really cool and completely unexpected, you know what I mean? So... that was something
I wish you would have been like,
you know, that was a really like positive experience, I guess, because I know people that have, you know, met people that they really look up to and it did not go that way at all. You know what I mean? Like, I know Jeff Ramsey from Rooster Teeth was talking, I don't remember who it was specifically, but I guess he met somebody famous that he, you know, admired a lot and they were a super prick. I remembered him talking about that one time in a video, I think. I don't remember who it was or anything, so don't, you know, quote me on that. But
I know, I feel like it's always the people, like, the, like, mega super famous stars. I feel like they're above everyone, but the people that are kind of nicely in the middle are really nice. Like, I met the lead singer of the Mountain Goats, and he was so sweet because he's like, you know, I have a newborn baby at home, but I'm gonna sit here until every single one of you gets your autograph and gets to talk to me. And I knew, you know, I followed the Mountain Goats for a while. I know he hated photos, so I wasn't about to ask him for a photo because I know he loathes them. He said that he just hates taking photos, so I bought a vinyl and had him sign it, and like, I would, because he was my senior quote, something he said in an article that really touched me, and I was, like, so shaky. I didn't know what to say to be like, oh, you're my senior quote, you're so cute. I mean, he's not cute, he's, like, kind of weird looking, but, you know, in just a sense. But, you know, so he's married with this kid, and, yeah, he made sure that he stayed really late hours just to make sure everyone got to see him, because he's just such a nice guy.
Yeah, we had a similar experience, too, when we met Neon Trees as well, at a festival. Tyler from Neon Trees is a fucking nice-ass dude. Because we were one of the first people there at the time. We were just we were at this festival, whatever. And yeah, and he was super cool. And because he remembered us from something we had some online interaction we'd had previously with them. And we mentioned it. We were like, oh, we were the ones that did this other thing. And he was like, oh my God, how are you guys? Like, he genuinely, like, he wasn't just like pretending he remembered who we were. It was like, he was genuinely like, oh my God, how are you guys? And he like hugged us and totally recognized us.
It was a mega dorky YouTube video that I just put on private yesterday.
And it was, that was interesting to me too, because of the fact that he was like so genuinely like happy to see us almost, that other people in the line were like, what the fuck, who are these people? Yeah, that was... And I met Jared Leto also, at one point. I met the whole band actually, but, yeah, that stands out to me too, because, we were at a show at the Hollywood Bowl, I think, and they were just signing stuff after, and I'm not saying Jared Leto was an asshole, because he was not, you know what I mean? He wasn't like, I don't want to say he wasn't overly nice, because he was just like neutral, you know what I mean? Like, they had just played a show, you could tell that they were tired, kind of, You know what I mean? And so I'm not going to discount him for that, because he wasn't like a douchebag to me or anything at all, but it was not like a standout experience for me. Like, I forget sometimes that I'm like, oh yeah, I've totally met those guys. You know what I mean? Because it was not like, it was a very sort of, oh, you get your thing signed and then you go. You know what I mean? It wasn't. Whereas my experience with Dave and Todd was like, it was super cool, you know, and they were both, and Todd Newman is, it's funny too, because I feel like there's not a huge amount of people that would recognize him. But because I had listened to their Dark Matter Radio, which it was them and Dan Cleary and somebody else, and it was really cool. And so I totally knew who he was. And I think I could tell in his face that he like appreciated that, because he was starting to like introduce himself to me. And I was like, no, I totally know who you are. Like,
that's
like
cute,
part of the reason
he's to everyone going for Dave.
Exactly,
you know?
yeah. And I saw, you know, a lot of the pictures and stuff I saw on Twitter where people like, oh my God, met Dave Navarro. And I was like, no, what are you talking about? Like, Todd Newman is sitting right there. Like, he's such a cool dude. You know, and so it was cool because he's doing directing stuff, and it was really neat to meet both of them. And, you know, somebody I've looked up to a lot, and, you know, never thought that I would get to meet, and Dave Navarro, and that he was just I cannot stress enough how much of a nice guy he is. Like, I have heard stories about him being an asshole, you know what I mean? And in the sense that, like, somebody will tweet him and be like, hey, you didn't want to take a picture. And he was like, I was running late for a flight. Like, I have bad days too. Like, sorry, you know what I mean? And I can see how you could potentially come across that way if you're not, you know, but everybody has stuff like that, you know what I mean? Like, I wouldn't always be up for, you know, wanting to be in pictures of people and doing everything all the time. And so I cannot stress enough just how, like, nice both of those dudes were. And, like, the fact that it was so genuine, and they seemed to really, like, appreciate that people were there and interested in what they were doing, you know, and I thought that was really cool.
Yeah, I met William Beckett. He was in the Academy Is when that was like a band, and then he is doing his own stuff now. And I saw him twice.
Wow, the Academy Is. I forgot about them. Shit.
But William Beckett, he's pretty cute. It's not always my jam, but it's like you're in the right mindset, and you know I dig it. But I saw him at twice, and the second time was at the bottom of the hill, and really small, of course, a bunch of teenage girls. And I've never like fangirled over him, but I just like, you know, his singing, and he's a nice guy. Like, probably like 30 people, and he was doing, I forget what song it was, he was doing a song and his voice cracked, and he stopped. He's like, oh, stop, you know, guys, I'm really sorry, I apologize, for like, let's start over from the top, because he was so concerned with being perfect. He like wanted to make sure we got, you know, the full experience. And I met him afterwards, and he was super nice. And of course there was 30 other like teenage girls trying to meet him, but I was just like, hey, I'm a really big fan, you know, I'm really, you know, and he was super sweet. And that's a cool thing to me, when people like, my favorite thing is when people are appreciative, like when it goes both ways. That's another thing I forgot to mention, is that, you know, because I was like, Craigslist? Is that a segue for Craigslist?
Actually, no, it was not. But another thing I forgot to mention about meeting Navarro last night is that I, you know, of course I was like just excessively thankful to even be there, you know what I mean? And it was a very genuine response where, you know, he was like, no, like, thank you for like, you know, coming here and, you know, watching this like documentary and blah, blah, blah. And I was like, that's like such a response that I did not expect. I was like taken aback by it. I was like, oh, that was really nice, you know, and it was just like, it was a really cool thing. Definitely unexpected. Yeah, which was cool. But the next thing I have to talk about relates to this, is that my grandma won't stop commenting things on Facebook. She will not stop. No, my grandma does not give a shit about Dave Navarro. She has no idea who he is. I'm sure that she saw that picture of me and Navarro and Newman and probably thought it was me and like the goth crew or whatever. But
like your college buddy,
right? Even though clearly they're both like late 40s, but she won't stop commenting on stuff on Facebook, and I don't know how to tell her to stop.
I know, it's funny too, because my grandma's the opposite. I went in a photo booth. So Jocelyn and I went to Japantown with my grandma like a year ago, and you know they have the cute photo booths, and so I kept trying to flash the camera, and my grandma like all of a sudden got like super strength to try and like pull my shirt down, and so finally like I did it, and just like my bra, like full coverage bra, like no cleavage, and grandma's like, oh my gosh. And so Jocelyn and I were at a photo booth at the mall, which I forgot, by the way, that they broadcast.
Did you really flash the camera video. And you regretted it?
No, like it was just my bra again, but still, like I was like, oops, forgot it's broadcast, and I tagged my grandma in the photo on Facebook just to like upset her, and of course she ignores it. but this other old lady, my grandma's friend, like someone's mom that's related to me, like commented like a heart, like love this, haha, and I was like, oh my god, like see grandma, why can't you be more like that old lady? She thinks I'm hilarious.
Yeah, and I know I mentioned on the podcast my grandma like commenting on everything, but it's just like sometimes I just like I can't. Now she's figured out that you can reply to other people's comments. And so this girl that I went to high school with, that at one point we're friends now because I had free Paramore tickets but couldn't go to the show, so I gave them to her, and we've been friends ever since. But Gideon's sister for Marissa, but who's actually way cooler than Gideon. But and so she commented, and you know there was an initial comment of her just being like freaking out in all caps because she was like, "What? Where are you? How are you meeting these people?" And I just liked her comment because I'm an asshole. I was not gonna like respond to it. And she was like, okay, like seriously though, like she commented again, like seriously though, what is happening? Like how did this, you know? And I like replied and whatever, this whole thing. For some reason, my grandma, like instead of like commenting on the picture, like replied to her comment. And I remember what she wrote. It was not anything like ridiculous, but I was just like, grandma. And then she like, I guess she thought that when she went back to the picture, she couldn't see her comment because it was a reply to this other girl's comment. And so she, like, commented again on the picture in general. I was like, why do I have so many notifications? I was like, oh my god.
I love it because it's obviously so obviously your grandma.
To be completely honest,
my grandma.
To be completely honest, I deleted the one that was a reply to that girl's comment because I was like, I like felt bad because it was like weirdly like, I was like, I was like, it's one thing if she's also commenting on this picture, but like, it's weird if she's replying to this chick. Like, so I like got rid of that one. I kind of felt bad about it for half a second. And I was like, you know what? No, like, this is fine. Like, I don't want to make this other girl uncomfortable. Like, I feel like, I hope she doesn't feel like obligated to respond to this. Like,
because it's always like one weird comment that makes no one else want to comment again. Like my aunt and my mom love commenting on stuff, which is fine. Usually it's funny, but when they're the first comment, no one like will touch the photo. They like taint it. It's like a curse. Like my aunt will say something weird.
That's why my mom refuses to comment on my stuff. Like, and I don't necessarily ask her to. You know, she won't like things for certain people. Like, if she'll be the first one, because like she thinks that like my friends will think that I'm a loser or something if like they see that my mom is the first one to like it. I'm like, Mom, nobody cares. Like, people love you. All my friends insist on being your friend on Facebook. Like, they don't care.
Right.
But
yeah, your mom's like that.
Yeah. Another thing I have written down too on my thing is that it's like somewhat related to both of these things, but not really. It's just like in the timeline. I like woke up in the middle of the night last night. I know I did because my water bottle is empty. And I have a vague memory of like drinking a lot of water and then going back to sleep. But like, that's all. I don't remember anything else that I did. Like, I don't know if I like woke up or like how long was I awake when I woke up. This morning my water bottle's empty.
I woke up and I took like this protein bar and I dipped it in the almond butter jar and ate the whole thing and I went back to bed. And that's like, all I remember. So I'm just going to jump into Craigslist and say that I love warm milk. Are you lactating and playful?
Wow. Fucking 0 to 100 in 2 seconds flat. What the fuck?
You know, I was telling Taylor earlier that I'm so over like the daddy doms. I'm so over the pregnant fetishes and like the lactating thing. But sometimes you just get sucked in. And that's, you know, like...
Pun intended.
So, yeah, I know. I was trying to think about that. So, hi, I'm 60.
This is I don't think we have ever, like, this is an abrupt start to this.
This is...
Fuck.
Yeah, okay, Taylor and I have finals, we got shit to do, we gotta jump into Craigslist while we can. Okay, I'm 60, playful, respectful, and love breast milk, and breasts with milk in them to play with. Also open to other things if you are. I can host or happy to cover gas money, etc. if you come to me. Let's have fun. And it doesn't say much. He's 5'9", body's average. He's single, but he's very much 60.
I have a question about
you in the back.
Fetishes.
I don't know if I can answer it, but...
Why... Okay, in your humble opinion, why is this a thing? Why do
Mommy
some
issues.
Dudes love...
That's honestly...
Short, sweet, to the point?
It's honestly the only thing I can think of, like, is mommy issue. Like, I couldn't pinpoint it because I was breastfed for way too
I
long, so I don't want to say that would be a reason, but
I went like an opposite way with that.
oh no, like what?
Well, see, now I'm like, now this is like on recording that this is a thing that I thought. Okay, so here's the thing.
Yes.
Can I like briefly talk about like jizz for a minute?
I would love nothing more.
Because maybe
New podcast title. Let's talk about jizz for a minute.
I'm gonna title it that. I don't give a shit. It's gonna be called literally this week is gonna be called Brief Talk About Jizz.
Right.
Okay, because I don't know how to phrase this. I genuinely don't know how to phrase it. Because I wish we were on video for this because my hands are moving, but the words aren't happening. Like, I don't know. Okay, some dudes are weird, right? Like, that's just a known fact, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because what I think, what I'm trying to say really depends on why they like lactating. Because like, do they want to drink it? Do they think that they're a baby? Or do they want it to be, like, squirted all over them? Like, is that because, like, when a girl, it's not as, like, violent as a dude jizz, and they're, like, upset about that?
I think I talked about this on the podcast.
Squeezing makes up for it?
Oh, God. I think I talked about this on the podcast before, that I know we did, that I didn't realize that there was, like, multiple holes in your nipple.
Yeah, fuck that.
Because I remember I was Googling it.
I wish we had video. Marissa's, like, has her hands, like, on.
Because the
really
way it went about is I was, like, inspecting my own boob, and I was like, huh, weird. Like,
wow, now I really wish we were doing video.
I was like, oh, is that normally Marissa pulled her
Marissa
kitty
just
out
whipped
after
out her
talking about
boob.
jizz.
Shit.
And, so I was expecting, and I'm like, oh, is that normal? Like, I never really, like, looked at my nipple for that long before. And so I was Googling it, and of course I came across this horrific, life-altering video of a woman just squirting her breast milk. And it was
Why
horrifying.
did you click on that? What
I forget.
was like, you know what? I see that thumbnail, I'm gonna click it. Why?
Okay, because
the fuck is wrong with you?
I think I was just like Google imaging or something. Like, I don't remember. I really don't remember how it came up, but somehow, it's not like I was on like porn.com, boob nipple.
Porn.com.
I don't know what the kids are going on. Okay, I bet porn.com's a website. Okay.
I'm gonna look at it right now. I'm gonna open private browsing just in case, but I'm gonna look at it right now. I'm gonna see what's on porn.com.
We are sponsored by porn.com.
Here's hoping.
Oh, here is hoping. And yeah, so I don't know, because also the thing that I know we've talked about a million times that guys don't realize is when you're full of milk, it physically is going to hurt you. Maybe not all women, but it's not going to be like always pleasant, especially if it's been a while. So it's like you're literally getting off on her being uncomfortable and in pain almost, but you don't really think about that because you never have to.
Well, in case anyone was curious, porn.com, literally just straight up porn. Oh my god.
Oh no. Oh, hold on, I'm coming.
That woman is too old to be.
I wish I didn't word it that way.
That woman is too old. She should retire.
Okay, I'm on it.
She should not be doing porn. Okay, I need to stop because what the fuck is happening here? That can't be healthy.
Oh no. Right. There's an exercise while involved in this one. Oh.
Why are we doing this? Okay, this is be a segment. So, Taylor and Marissa watch porn.
And Marissa need therapy. I wish we could phone a therapist and just be like, why do guys like this? And have them give their best educated guess on it.
All these women have such like bad boob jobs too. Like, I feel like as a dude, I would be, as a like chick, I'm immediately like less attracted to somebody if I can see that their boobs look fake. Like, that's like, and I don't know if that's just because like that's just the way that I am.
You know what's a weird thing I'm thinking about right now?
Oh no.
What if my grandma calls me and is like, hey Marissa, what did you do today? What am I gonna tell my grandma?
You're going to tell her you recorded a podcast with your friend and it was very entertaining and informative, and no, she cannot have the link. That's what you're...
Oh my gosh. Okay, wow. It's funny because now when you go to porn.com, not that we're recommending it, but please actually go. It's so, I forget how
I'm not even going to put it in the
this
link
stuff
down.
is, and not in a good way, but it's like, no, but it's like, oh my god. It's like,
do you ever see that?
Too much.
Do you ever see that website that's like my favorite thing ever, where it has the like live porn searches?
Oh yeah.
Let me see if I can look it up. It's the funniest thing in the world.
It really is.
Because it's just like a live feed of like what people are searching for.
Okay, it's pornmd.com.
Yeah, I'll put it in the link thing because it's so funny. It's so funny.
Fiesta porno. Oh.
Fat black granny slut.
This one just says Shania Twain.
Yeah, there's a lot of just like
castration. What the hell kind of porn video is that?
Yeah, there's the funny thing about this too is like there's a lot of like misspellings.
I imagine it's like when a boy just discovers they can look up porn on the internet and they're just like, huh, what do I...
Yeah, for example, this person just searched HD vagina.
Oh my god.
Why are people so into peeing? Why is that a thing?
I don't know. Especially because so many people are dehydrated also. So it's like, it's going to be like not good, you know? Like,
do you think it's going to be good if you're... Yeah, I'm really hydrated, so peeing on me is okay?
No.
Whoa, shit, Marissa.
If you're really hydrated, it's not going to like smell weird or be like neon yellow. But if you're really hydrated... You know, it'll be just like clear and no smell. But maybe
somebody's
they like
looking for elves.
I don't know.
Why is somebody looking for elves? Why is that a thing? Yeah, this is just like running in the background. It's like constantly drawing my attention.
Hamster Japanese mother uncensored.
Oh no. Oh no.
Oh.
Yeah, there's a lot of like weird... Yeah, I'm gonna put this in the link down because it's just honestly it's so entertaining.
Okay, this one just says vacuum cleaner.
What? My favorite thing too is when there's really weird things and it's followed by like, oh, part 6.
Okay, I accidentally clicked on vacuum cleaner and this girl, I didn't realize it would link you to the videos when you click on it. I just thought it was...
Yeah.
Sexy teen masturbating with a vacuum cleaner, and let's just say she's taking the hose and putting it where it should not go.
Dude, that's really dirty too, because like usually when you use the hose on a vacuum cleaner, it's like under your bed or like in my car.
Oh, you're getting a spider.
Oh god, oh my god. Did I tell you about the biggest spider in the world?
Okay, back
that we had?
to Craigslist. This is...
Yeah?
What? You broke up for a minute, sorry.
Well, you know.
You're just a robot and with...
That's actually how I am in real life.
Yeah.
What were you saying about Craigslist?
I'm like too distracted on you. I'm gonna power through just for my Craigslist. This is the search that I was telling Taylor I was a little bit confused about. Because the title is Daughter and Father Searching for Sexy Bi Mom.
Okay, I have so many questions.
And, you know, I'm reading it and it says, would you like to have a relationship with a young woman and man? She wants you to be the mom, and she's never had to share intimacy and guidance. I'd like to share feelings with you together with our daughter as a special family. And it really, it doesn't say if they just like to be... And by the way,
I was gonna say, is it like, are they really related, or is it like a daddy thing? Is it like a daddy thing, or is it Jerry Springer?
I don't know, because it says, I assume the guy's writing this because it says age 52, 6'3", and the photos they put are like them kissing, but you can't really see it because it's like they use like a photo booth like drawing effect, so it's like, you know, like Take on Me, like that 80s like doodle drawing, so it's like you really can't tell, and I just... Don't deny yourself any longer. Our families get together. It will be what you have been wanting for so long. That's in Mountain View. A little too close to home.
Man, shout out to Mountain View.
Shout out to Mountain View.
See, here's the thing. Now I want to, like, would it be frowned upon to send them an email and be like, hey, just like, what if I just like pretend I was interested, like, just to get this information, like, hey, I'm interested, but if you guys are actually related, like, that's not something I'm into, but if this is just like a kink thing, I'm totally into it, whatever.
Right?
You know what I mean?
Every week we need clarification, and I don't know.
That's because the world is wild.
The world is wild. It is wild. Okay, this one, the title alone. First of all, I want you to picture that they are 53.
Oh no.
A man.
Oh boy.
And the title is just, I'm a confessed cuddle slut, seeking the same.
I mean, same though, but.
And a former girlfriend affectionately referred to me as cuddle slut. While we laughed about it at the time, she was also correct. I enjoy and thrive off of touch, and I treasure touch on its own merits, as opposed to just being a persecutor to sex. And it's just like this long thing. I
can respect that to a degree.
Yeah, the title itself was
mean?
so funny.
But that's funny as hell.
And like, this is just, oh man, this middle-aged guy just wants to cuddle. And I will...
Does he, like, specify who he wants to cuddle with, or is it, like, anybody?
Anybody.
Oh.
Anybody. Bless his soul. Okay, last one I almost forgot about. I'm going to send Taylor this photo because it was one that...
Oh, no.
Let's not send that to my mom. Okay,
No, do it.
I easily could, but she's like... And this is the photo where I had to stop mid-sentence because I was just... I don't know. Obviously it's not him.
Okay, I'm clicking the link.
And it was funny to me because it just says, need to suck a big cock. And it says you must be 18 to 40, and the cock has to be 7.5 inches minimum.
Man, that is...
And the photo,
Wow.
I'm not sure... It's just... there's not really any way to...
I mean, that's got to be from porn, right? Yeah, because they're clearly playing to the camera.
There's no way it's him. Yeah, they're in, like, matching Speedos, like, pulled down underneath their genitalia.
Because they're clearly playing to the camera, because, that's the one rule of film, is you always face the camera.
Yeah, and so this
he's like sucking this dude's dick, but he's, like, angled toward the camera so you can see his dick. Also, he has, like, really dumb tattoos.
Oh yeah, 2 stars. And to me, the funniest thing is, like, the way the Speedo is, like, pushing up his genitals.
Yeah.
It just was, like, very off-putting. It's just, like...
It looks like that would be mildly uncomfortable.
Yeah. And it looks like they both have, like, 1 ball each. Just the way it happens to be on the photo.
Yeah, it's a weird angle. Weird angle. Okay, I'm going to close that now.
Yeah, I'm done. Also, quick Q question. I guess you couldn't, you could get your balls waxed, but I'm guessing you shaved because I can't imagine that's a fun experience.
If you have balls, please leave a comment and tell us about them. I'm not joking because I want to know.
Waxed. I'm going to Google it.
Male waxing I don't know
stories, waxing for men.
Because I imagine that would be painful. Well, I don't. Yeah, if
There's
you have balls,
a lot of Yahoo questions about it.
Leave a comment. What do you do? Because I imagine it can go both ways, right? Like, there's people that probably prefer one over the other.
I like the answer to this Yahoo answer. Some people say ball skin can't be waxed as it's too thin. This is not true.
Well, I imagine whether or not it's true doesn't necessarily make it a good idea. Yeah, like, that would probably be the worst thing ever, right? Like, that's...
Even shaving your balls, to me, would be like, nope, no thanks, because... anyway, please leave your...
Yeah. Please tell us more about balls, Marissa.
I just can't imagine how that could ever be comfortable or easy. Like, the angles you must get. Like, I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, because I imagine, too, if you're a person that does waxing, like, I personally wouldn't want to deal with that, and not because of the fact that it's balls, but because of the fact that it's such, like, a like it's very thin skin,
And it's
that
like,
I feel like there's so much risk for things to go wrong there. You know what I mean? That I wouldn't want to be responsible for that, because that's like a big deal if that gets fucked up. You know what I mean? So I would, I wouldn't want to be the one that's responsible for your balls.
definitely not. Definitely, yeah, definitely. And I do get waxed every so often, just because, like,
Man, what's it like being rich?
amazing. I guess I don't have to go into details about why, but shaving just hurts and irritating me. But anyway, and this woman was telling me, because like they try and like do small talk to you, which is fine, but I usually just rather not talk.
That's weird.
Yeah, I mean, I rather just.
It's like when you go to the gynecologist and she's trying to like ask you about school, and you're like, "Can you not?"
Yeah,
like you are so
like, oh,
far inside me right now. And I don't want to talk about my classes.
They are all very nice, but this one I had, she's particularly nice, and I was talking to her, and I'm like, do you ever see people in public, and, like, what do you say to people? And she says she gets a lot of people like, oh, I know you from somewhere, and she'll be like, oh, I waxed you, and the person's immediately like, bye. And she said she even got a few dudes that really, like, got off on wanting to see their girlfriend get waxed, and she had to say, like, no, I'm not doing that. Boyfriends have to stay out of the room, right? Like, because no one needs to see me at that angle, because to get everything, you, like, hug your knees to your chest, and it's like,
man, that's an image.
No one needs to see that, like, like, no thanks. But that's the same with my mom, too. She used to do Botox and wrestling. She was a cosmetic nurse because, Marin. And people would come up to her, and I was actually at a dinner party with, like, some family friends, and some woman was like, oh, I know you. And my mom finally pulled her aside and said, oh, like, I did your Botoxing a couple years ago. And the woman immediately was, like, mortified. And it's like, my mom is bound by confidentiality. She's not going to be like, hey, party guest, guess what? And two, it was so obvious she'd gotten something done anyway. But it's funny how people can be so embarrassed about that,
Yeah, I mean, I just, like, hate that kind of shit anyway, because I think it's stupid and pointless. But, like, just because there's, like, I think it's dumb that there's, like, so much pressure on women to try to look young. Like, just be your age. Just, you know what I mean?
And I
just
think,
be
like,
how old you are,
done,
and that's fine.
If you get it done, like, I think it's important to be honest about it, so then people know, like, oh, I'm not just, like, 100 looking this, not that you look great, but,
No, are you kidding me? I mean, the thing is, too, is, like, I just, like, think that it's stupid, because I feel like there are so many people that, like, I don't want to say can't afford it, do it, but, like, they don't necessarily have the disposable income to be doing that all the time. Like, if you're super rich and you just, like, do that all the time because you have nothing better to do because you're rich and an idiot, that's fine. But, like, there's so many people that just, like, are regular people that blow all their money on stuff like that. And I'm like, you have a child.
Oh,
like, what are you doing?
When I was working at...
I'm like, why are you spending so much money on this stupid shit that doesn't matter?
Yeah,
like, you could be, like, buy, you know what I mean? Do something nice for your child. Buy groceries.
Yeah,
like,
I knew
you know what I mean?
one
like,
woman, and she wasn't getting Botox, but she was getting eyelash extensions, like, every 2 weeks, and...
Those look so dumb.
And I asked her...
Every person I see them on, they look so stupid.
I told her, and I was like, oh, wow, your eyelashes are really, really long, and I never really noticed them, but I was just like, oh, like, they could be natural, like, I don't really know you that well, and she was like, oh, I get eyelash extensions, and I was just curious, like, oh, like, how much are they? And she said it was, like, $75, and you have to go every 3 weeks because they fall out. So it's like, and she had a kid too, and would always come in buying herself all this stuff she didn't need. And granted, I'm sure, she's just like a store manager, so I'm sure she made decent money, but not like putting your kid into college so easily kind of thing. And I was just like, yeah, like, wow. And my mom had this one client, because people obviously are crazy. Like, some people are, like, nuts. Like, some people are like, really minimum. Like, oh, I just want one thing done, and that's it. And one woman came in, her lips were so big, and my mom told her, like, I really don't feel comfortable doing this, and she was, like, crazy. So she basically, my mom, felt bad, and was like, okay, like, I guess. And when my mom stuck the needle into her lips, more Restylane came out. Because it was that big. Ew. And they told her, they said, like, we can't treat you for at least a year or whatever time period it would go down. And she was like, fine, I'm going to find another doctor who will do it. And my mom's like, fine, go ahead. Like,
it reminds me of that one, My Strange Addictions, with the dude, the living Ken doll guy.
Ooh.
What was his name? Justin? Do you remember him?
And who's going to end up like him?
Oh my god, yeah. We know this kid that's basically already kind of looks like him too. He's only done stuff in his face so far. He is 20 goddamn years
20.
old, okay? Like
20.
And also let it be known that he like posts pictures of like his before and after, and he looked fine before. Like he's not somebody that I'm like attracted to because he's like not really my type at all.
Not, but he looked like nice and normal before, and now he
but
like,
you know, I could see like, okay, he's a cute kid, you know what I mean, whatever. But now he looks so scary.
So scary.
But yeah, this dude on My Strange Addictions, he wanted, what was it? He wanted like, he had implants basically all over his body. Like, he had like shoulders, implants, like bicep implants. Yeah, because apparently he was too good for just working out like a regular person. But, he wanted this one implant. It was like some weird like torso abs implant or something like that. Because once again, too good for working out apparently.
It's never been done before, and it was like the first time.
Yeah, and the doctor was like, okay, I don't necessarily, this is a, brand new thing. Like, obviously you have had a lot of work done. Maybe you should go talk to somebody, about what, the dude basically, he was like being really cool about it. I'm phrasing it, making it sound really curt kind of, but he basically was saying that like, have you considered that maybe you should go to therapy because you've been having a lot of this work done and it's costing you hundreds of thousands of dollars and you're still not happy with yourself? The dude is like, maybe you should, talk to somebody about this before you, keep going under the knife like this, because there's a lot of potential for things to go wrong, And he was being like really cool about it. And it was like, if somebody said that to me, it would have been kind of a wake up call of like, oh, maybe there is some underlying thing going on here. But the dude basically got like snarky with him. It was like, well, if you're not going to do it, I'm just going to find somebody who can. The doctor was like, okay.
I know, because then that puts the doctor in an awkward position of like, okay, by refusing this person, they could go to some quack, because obviously the guy on the TV was like I assume a really good surgeon.
Yeah, it was like super high end.
Super high end. So it's like, it's like, okay, like you could turn him away and he could go to some quack and have it maybe turn out way, way worse because he's going to some, he's like going to Mexico or whatever, essentially to.
It's like the one chick that wanted the huge boobs or whatever, and her friends were like, what the fuck are you doing? And she was like, I'm just going to go to Brazil and do it because nobody in America will make my boobs how big that I want them. That was actually what her voice sounded like, by the way, too.
Yeah.
And, she had like a daughter too, and the daughter was like, Mom, stop.
Oh yeah,
I can't.
I forget.
She was like, I can't hug you anymore.
Oh yeah, and there was another one that I've been watching a little bit of Bots recently because I have no life and I hate myself.
Oh god.
And this mom told her daughter like, oh, I'm going away to do a bunch of procedures, and the mom went away to get plastic surgery to look like the daughter. And
what? How old was the daughter?
The daughter was like 24 and the mom was obviously like 50. So it was like, okay, lady, you're not gonna look like the daughter at all. And but going back to the Ken doll, there was this guy, and I forget what he had like he went to like another country to get like a six plant planted into his abdomen, and the surgeons were pretty impressed. They're like, oh, okay, like that's interesting. And the guy's like, oh, how do you like my facial work, like all my injections? And the doctor literally goes, well, you're happy with it, and that's what matters most, because you could tell even the plastic surgeon was like turned off by it, but he's not going to say that to his client. And
honestly, that's how I feel about the tattoos of some people that I know. Okay, I'm not like expert tattoo whatever, but that's something I've been interested in for a very long time. That's where I'm hoping to go with my art career or whatever. I have done a lot of extensive years of just observing, research, watching, whatever. I am way too into it, you know what I mean? And some people I know just make bad choices. All right, we say at the end of every video, make good choices. These people fucking did not, okay? And and I don't want to say who it is, but I know somebody that made a really poor decision, and he got a tattoo that's fucking stupid. And not only is it stupid, is it's not done very well either. So I just like, he outright asked me if I liked it, and I didn't know what to say. Because the answer was, fuck no, you're an idiot. You know what I mean? But I just like, and I think I said something along the lines of like, I can tell you're really excited about it, and like, that's what's important, Yeah.
That's
what's important. But I didn't know what to say. I was like, no, I don't like it because it fucking sucks.
Plus, a good rule of thumb, too, is when someone doesn't say something about something obviously new, like when I would dye my hair and no one said anything, you know they don't like it, because it's so obvious for you not to comment on it. Is basically like, you don't like it, which is fine with me. I don't care if you don't like my hair or outfit or whatever, but if it's if it's something super new, like, you know, if I got a tattoo on my cheek, although it's obviously I would never do like it's stupid, you have to either acknowledge it and be like, oh, and I love it, or you don't say anything because it's stupid, you know?
Yeah, like, and most of the time, too, is, like, I have a hard time, too, because people think that I feel that way about stuff, like, if they post it on social media and I just don't see it, because I never see anything, because I never check Facebook unless I'm posting about myself, because I'm vain like that, and just because I don't care, I don't give a shit, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But, you know, people will post stuff and be like, oh, new, whatever, and because I don't see it, I don't say anything, so I don't realize, you know what I mean? Or I'm just like, okay, whatever, and then they'll mention it, and I'm like, oh yeah, I forgot that was a thing that you did, or whatever, or like some, you know, kid posts a picture of their tattoo, and I don't care, and they're obviously, they know that I'm like the person that's really into tattoos, and they're like, oh, do you not, 'cause you didn't say that? I was like, literally, I didn't see it, like, I don't care, like, and part of it too is like, I feel weird, because I feel, like, because of that, I feel obligated to say something when people get new stuff, like, because most of the time, I don't care. You know what I mean? And it's not because I'm like, whatever, it's not about me, so I don't care. It's like, it's just like, I'm around so much just weirdness that things don't faze me anymore. You know what I mean? People are like, oh, you know, I dyed my hair a weird color. And I'm just like, okay. In my head, I'm just like, okay, there's another person with colored hair. It's not like anything that's a huge deal to me. Know, or like somebody gets a tattoo, I don't say anything because I see them all the time.
The colored hair thing irritates me because both my mom and Jack will be like, Marissa, look, the girl has colored hair too. Oh my god, Marissa, blue hair. And I was like, do you think, like, I'm happy for them, but I don't care? Like, they look good, I like it, but it's like they equivalent. It's like, oh, there's your friend. It's like, just because we have colored hair doesn't mean we're gonna click. There's
it's like how
literally no
we
relation except for we both like this color
like
blue.
This chick that we know. This chick that we know, every time somebody is like super light with dark black hair, says that they look like me.
Oh yeah, she sent me this photo. This was years ago, and it was something dumb. Like, I think it was like a ModCloth model or something. It was like, isn't this so tailored? I don't know what to say of like, you're an idiot. They have like no similar facial features
like any
at
like
all.
White person with dyed black hair, any like average size white chick with black hair, usually also with like red lipstick on, because that's like me 24/7, is like, oh my god, this girl looks so much like you. And I'm like, really? We look nothing alike. And I know it's like people don't see, you know, in other people that they look like them or whatever.
To make on The Sims, too.
in any video game ever, if I want to make myself, it's just like, oh, super light, dark hair, red lipstick, done.
Yeah, that's why the blue hair is nice, purely for Sims reason. I'm like, okay, blue hair, boop, glasses, done, check. No pants, done.
No pants, done.
I was making The Sims with my cousin, obviously your husband, and like her roommate, and so I made them and me, and I would put myself with no pants because in The Sims is my dream world, and if I could wear no pants to school without someone freaking out, I would, because, like, I mean, school.
Because why not?
Because why not? I don't believe in them. Basically, is what I'm saying. And the dude was like, "Oh, I'm digging the lingerie," and I was like, "No." I'm like, I literally don't wear pants unless I'm obligated to, like at my cousin's house where there's people I don't know, you know. And granted, if they wouldn't care, I would also wear no pants there. But I know they would be like, "Huh, Marissa, what's going on there? What's a sitch?" You know, and
some people are so weird about that too. Like, if you're just like I'm often hanging out. Here's the thing: is I have mixed feelings about the pants versus no pants thing. Not because I have a firm opinion either way, but for me, it very much depends on the situation. Like, sometimes, you know, like a lot of time, I get cold really easily. So even if it's, you know what I mean, I'll be sitting around. It's like my first inclination is to put on pants because usually I'm cold. You know what I mean? Most of the time, if I'm going to bed or whatever, I'm going to wear as little clothing as humanly possible. But like, you know, if I'm just like hanging out, plus too, like the chair that I have at my desk is really uncomfortable if I don't have pants on, because it just like the material that the chair is made out of, or like when it gets so hot.
Oh, your car too, god damn.
Oh my god, being in my car with like shorts or any sort of short garment on is the worst thing.
It's funny because
just like
when Taylor and I did our road trip to Comic-Con, that's when I stopped giving a whatever. Sometimes I feel awkward when I swear because, like, I don't know, I just feel like it sounds weird. But because it was like...
I feel like because you don't that often. It's because I'm a horrible person with the swearing thing, because I'm a fucking sailor all the time, that I'm too casual about it. I'm too casual.
And so, I know, so when I do it, I feel like I'm trying too hard to, like, whatever. But anyway, so because
so am I.
Her car is, like, you know, I mean, you should link a photo if you didn't already, but it's like, it's really cool, but it's low to the ground, the seats are hot and leather, so we were driving, and I was in, like...
Just like me, haha.
Short and hot.
I was gonna say hot and covered in leather, but that's fine. I like that too. I was referencing the leather, not the low to the ground, but you're not wrong.
And so, like, it's low to the ground, so, like, everyone can see and who's driving by, and it was so hot, and people kept trying to pass us, and we were just, like, because there's, like, 2 lanes. On the right lane, it's huge semis. Yeah. On the left, people are speeding, and we don't really want to be in either lane, but we had to keep going back and forth. So,
yeah, because part of the thing is, for people that don't know, when you drive an old car like that, and the engine that's in my car and stuff, there's a real danger of overheating when you're going at too high speeds through the desert for that long. So on Highway 5, I can't really keep it above, like, 70 for any prolonged period of time, because my engine will overheat and we'll be stuck in the middle of the fucking desert.
Which, no thanks. And anyway, so it's low to the ground, so everyone's, like, looking down, and I was, like, wearing a dress, and, I was trying to cover up, and I was like, you know what? F this. Like, I don't care if anyone sees my underwear right now. I'm so hot. I'm sweating. It's not an attractive picture like everyone thinks. I don't have, like, these long gazelle legs. It's basically, like, stumps. Okay? Imagine just stumps. And so, like, now it's, like, that was, like, not traumatic, but I was so, like, fed up with it that now when I get out of the car in a dress, I'm just like, okay, pound open the door. I'm like, let me out of here. Because it's just, like, now I don't care. Because honestly, in my opinion, you know, I'm not saying I have a bad body. Obviously, I'm banging. Why we are making a video, I don't know. But it's just, like,
I wish we did for that moment, because Marissa did a really funny, like, leg thing that I wish we had captured. It was too funny.
Just, like, blur my crotch. I am wearing underwear, by the way. But anyway, so, you know, now it's like I don't care. And it's like I know everyone is like, oh my god, underwear. It's like, can you just relax? Like, please, it's just underwear. I'm not trying to flash you. I'm just trying to get out of the car, and I accidentally, you know, malfunction. Just relax.
It's like, it's funny too, because it's like, literally, I don't go a day without seeing at least one dude's underwear.
Right? And you can't even, you know,
but for some reason, if I'm wearing underwear, like, oh my, people lose their shit.
That's why the yoga pants thing is funny, because I've had people say, like, oh, Marissa, you can see your underwear line in the yoga pants. And I was like, well, I'm wearing this to be comfy. You know, it's a bonus that it's flattering. But honestly, like I said, I'd rather not wear pants. I wear pajama pants to school. Yoga pants are, like, the most acceptable next best thing besides, like, leggings or whatever. And I'm like, okay, like, here are my options. Either I don't wear underwear or I wear a thong. And thongs aren't that bad. Taylor informed me that I'm a medium and not a small.
Yeah, because why the fuck? Nobody is a small unless they're like 4'11". Like, what the fuck are you thinking? You're a small, you dumbass. I love you, but you're an idiot.
I don't know. And so, but anyway, so, like, thongs are, now I realize, not that bad. But when I'm wearing yoga pants, it's just, like, the wedge is even more, like, whoa, it's going up there. So I just wear normal underwear.
I think a lot of it, too, is people don't buy comfortable thongs, and so people's experience is like, oh my god, thongs are so uncomfortable. Literally, just spend more than, like, $5, okay, and you'll be fine. I could wear a thong for 36 hours straight, obviously different ones every day, okay, but it's not like, it never gets uncomfortable for me. Like, it's not, maybe it's just because I have, like, so much ass that it's just like, who cares, but, like, you know what I mean.
That's the thing. I wish we could just post an ass pic without it being a big deal. Like, hey, just so you know. Like,
just follow me on Twitter and it's fine.
Yeah, follow her on Twitter. It's a good photo.
Shout out to the person that told me to put that picture. But
shout out to the person that forced you to take that picture.
Yeah, 2 different people, fun fact.
Yeah. But I realized the key for me buying underwear is, my favorite is the chikinis, because for me...
Nah, same! Those are the best ones!
Because the way you have to do it, like, if I wear normal underwear that's, like, not, like, grandma underwear, but, like, normal underwear, eventually, like, one side is gonna wedge up, and sometimes if I wear a thong, maybe it's gonna be uncomfortable, but if you buy underwear that gives you, like, a, like, slight wedge, like, not a wedgie, but just, like, it's, like, nestled in there nice, it's gonna stay nestled in there. I like the word
nestled.
That's my advice for buying underwear for women.
Plus, that to me, that's also like the most attractive looking. Also, just from like a perspective of somebody as a girl, I have seen a lot of girls without pants because that's just how we act around each other. Newsflash, everybody. Okay, everybody does it. Stop being a weirdo about it.
Literally stop.
But like, yeah, like honestly, like that is like the best one. Two people think that like, oh, thongs are. I was talking to somebody about this one day too. That talking to a dude actually that agreed with this statement that thongs are not the most attractive type of underwear because they don't.
Agree.
They don't flatter. They're not a shape. Like they don't. I think the point, you know what it is it's that thing where people assume that the less clothes you're wearing, the more attractive you are. But really, it's about making the clothes you wear look good on you.
Yeah, making them flattering. And also for me, I think an air of mystery is attractive to me because it's like when Miley was first trying to be all like sexy or not sexy, you know what, theoretically what I'm saying, when she was first,
whatever she's doing with her life now,
at first, people were like,
she's
oh my
a crazy
God,
person.
she's naked, whoa. But then once they realized she shows her boobs all the time, they were like, oh, whatever, we don't care about her anymore. And, you know, she isn't the best example, but, you know, like for a while, I'm like, oh, Scarlett Johansson just seems so attractive, like, what's going on? And then I saw a picture of her finally naked, and I'm like, oh, like, she actually looks like a normal person. She's not just, like, in my head anymore. She's, like, a normal-looking woman. Nothing
right, you know who
ridiculously
also looks
crazy.
You know who looks really good? I saw a picture of what's her name? Her name is escaping me. It's what the fuck is her name? All I'm thinking about is that she was in Pirates of the Caribbean. I forgot all her other movies. You know the one?
Keira?
The blonde? What? Keira Knightley. That's it. Keira Knightley.
Because I hesitate because I get Keira and some other actress mixed up too often. That I'm just...
Yeah, I don't know why I forgot who she was. I was thinking her name was Kate something for some reason. But I saw a picture of her. She just like was casually topless in a magazine. And I was like, this is the way to do it because she like specifically was like stated that she was like, she didn't want it retouched. You know what I mean? So it was just like her being a normal person. And I was like, she is so much more attractive to me because of the fact that she's not fake. Like, you know what I mean? She was talking about that, like, because she obviously is not like not a busty girl. You know what I mean? And I appreciate the fact that she was like in this magazine, just like being a regular person. She happened to be naked, and it was like, she could be, it's like the difference between nude and naked. We talk about this in art a lot. You know what I mean? And for other art students, you'll know what I mean, so I'm not going to fucking go into it because it's a whole thing. But it's like she was naked without it being sexual. You know what I mean? Like, it wasn't like, I'm sure dudes everywhere are like gonna fucking jerk off to it or whatever, but you know, it was like there was no sexual undertones. Like, it was just pictures of her. She was like laughing, just like standing around. You know what I mean? And it was very, very, it was much more attractive than if she was like trying too hard to be sexual. And I think that happens a lot in pictures and women trying to post up online as they're like, trying so hard to be sexy. And it's like, no, if you're just yourself, if you're just like in a picture, you're just laughing and you just happen to look good, like, that is so much more attractive. And I appreciated those photos of her a lot because I was like, wow, she is so attractive. And it's like, there's not, you know what I mean? Like, obviously I've never seen her naked before that moment, but I was like, no, she's so much more attractive because it wasn't for Playboy. It was just for a casual magazine. You know what I mean?
No, definitely. But that's like, too, it's weird to think, like, if you're like a booby person and you're naked, it's automatically like sexy. It's like, maybe she just...
Yeah, I think it depends too, because if you have a lot of boob, if you have a lot of boob, it's harder to pose in ways. I guess that speaks to the skill of a lot of models too, is because that's like a skill, is being able to pose in a way that's like nude but not sexual.
Because
if you have
so Tyra on, because this is the last season of ANTM, long overdue, but whatever. And Tyra always says, like, don't, like, you can be sexy and beautiful, but don't be skanky. Like, there's a difference between just like, you know, being confident and happy rather than like, ugh.
Yeah, and I feel like that's like obviously. That's like a good like a, I want to say like almost feminism-esque thing too, because it's like, it's a way of like women being able to have the same things as men can. Men are like shirtless, whatever, in magazines all the time. Boobs are not inherently a sexual organ. Men just make them that way. You know what I mean? And so it's like,
well, it's funny because
it's cool to see stuff like that where women can be like empowered and proud of their bodies like men can, and not be sexualized for it.
Yeah, like I was thinking, like I sent her the snap where I put googly eyes. I was wearing a bra, but I put googly eyes over my nipples because it was so funny. And like, if I was,
it's the funniest thing I've ever seen. You sent me one without a bra too once. That was funny as hell with like giant googly eyes. Do you remember that?
I wish I had that. But like, yeah, if I was in like
like the googly eye was the size of her entire boob. It was so funny.
I live a fulfilling life. But, like, if I was ever naked in a thing, that's what I would do. Be like, give me some googly eyes. Let's just, like, make it
Right? It's just like, oh, this is so funny.
Could you imagine, imagine in a parallel universe where, like, we're actually famous. Like, okay, like, we want to do a sexy shoot. And I'll be like, you know what? Hold that thought. I'm going to need some googly eyes. And then we're good to go.
Oh my God.
And then it would be called, like, Peeping Tom or something.
My God. Also, I forgot, I never realized I never read my Craigslist.
Oh, yeah.
I was just, like, thinking about that.
Mm.
But, so, which order should I go in? Because there's, you know what, I'll save the funniest one for last, and so it's gonna go in order of, like, most sexual to least sexual.
Okay.
First one. Also, okay, let me preface this by saying these are literally all in strictly platonic. Keep this in mind. The section is called strictly platonic. All right? Okay, here's this one called Visiting Bottom. Hey, what's up? I'm 27, 6 foot, 200 wrestler build, which I don't know what that means, but he posted a picture of himself. He just looks like a regular dude. Brown hair, brown eyes, 6-inch, thick, hairy bubble butt. I'm down to hook up. Down to suck your cock, jerkin'. I'll be your bottom, but it's been a while. Okay, so basically he's just talking about how tight his ass is for like 2 sentences. But yeah, so strictly platonic, looking to suck some dick.
I wonder how long it takes for you to essentially, like, stretch
Too long,
out
and
your
something
asshole.
I don't want to ever find out.
No,
like,
neither do I, but
I have a question about dudes and also about anal. Why does every dude ever assume that a girl wants to do anal? Why is that a thing? Why?
It's, like, weird because it seems, like, trendy, not trendy, but, like, it seems like it's, like, within the last X amount of years, it's been, like,
and
increasing.
Here's the thing, too, is I don't know what it is because what dudes don't realize is not every girl is into that. And it's not like you can just flip a switch. Like, it's not like, oh, you just haven't had it good enough or whatever. It's like, no, literally, for some people, it's uncomfortable. You know what I mean? Like,
and to me, it's like,
I was gonna say, because like dudes have stuff that they don't like. You know what I mean? But like, why can't that? And it's just like, I don't know. It's annoying because people are like, oh, you just haven't done this, and I'm just like, why don't you just accept the fact that like some people, it's not a comfortable thing for them. Like, yeah, I see people online all the time talking about, they're like, why is anal an assumption now? That, like, people are so weird about it.
And I've talked to, my female friends who are, the classic, like, oh, he tried to do that without even asking. And they're immediately like, nope, what are you doing? What's going on? No. Like, you can't just you think she's not going to notice? Like, just casually switch it up. No, she's going to notice, and she's not going to be happy about it.
It's like, I don't care whatever you're into, and it's like, and I'm not going to, like, go into detail about my personal sexual history, because this is a fucking podcast. It's going to go on the internet, okay? Maybe once we've had, like, 200 episodes, I won't care anymore, and I'll, whatever. But, like, I just, like, I feel like, for me personally, I would be much more inclined to, like, I would be less likely to immediately say no if somebody was, like, cool about it. You know what I mean? If they were like, hey, this is a thing that I like a lot, and I know that you've previously said that, it might not be comfortable for you, but I was wondering... Yeah, exactly. I was wondering if maybe you would be willing to try again. Maybe if they phrase it like that, I'd be like, you know what? You're right. Like, I have, you know what I mean? It's not something I enjoy. However, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, if... you're willing to whatever, be a regular person about it, and because you are, like, asking me nicely and being like, hey, this is a thing that I like, blah, 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 I would be like, know what, that's fine. And then I would come back and say, like, hey, this is a thing that I enjoy that maybe you've mentioned, blah, you know what I mean? And there would be, like, a back and forth there, where I'd be like, okay, this is a thing that I like that maybe we haven't done before, blah, 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 maybe you would be willing to, it would be like, okay, perfect, trade deal.
It's the aggressive expectation that is, like, a big turnoff, but when someone's, like, nice and sweet and open and, like, whatever, normal person, it's not as big of a thing. But when someone, anyway, but also it's funny too, is like, guys' G-spots are in their ass. So it's like, if you want to try, if we could try it on you first, okay?
Yeah,
and
I
you
don't
can
know
see
why,
how it's going to
because
go.
yeah, literally there's no physical
it's, like,
bodily
weird.
reason that a girl should find that enjoyable.
Like, yeah, like, Logan was telling me she had one friend that, like, only likes that, so, like, whatever, more power to you, I guess. Like, you don't have to worry about getting pregnant, I guess, all the time.
Right, I guess.
But
yeah, I just
like,
but it's definitely,
plus guys are so, like, oh, no homo. It's like, well, like,
it's like, guess
I don't
what?
know,
If
like,
I'm gonna try, so are you. Haha.
yeah, like, what's the big deal? Like,
I think
know?
if that was like a requirement somehow, it would make dudes a lot less aggressive about it, because it's like they don't understand, if they don't know how it feels, they can't they can't refute the fact that it's uncomfortable.
Yeah, that's,
you know
like,
what I
when
mean?
dudes
Like,
are pro-life. It's like, you don't know, you can't
you've
think
never
about that.
experienced this, so how can you tell me that what I'm feeling is not correct? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like, if I'm like, oh, I don't like that, I'm uncomfortable, you can't immediately be like, well, it's, you know, it's just this and this. I'm like, okay, well, first of all, fuck you. Okay, like, obviously,
Yeah.
like, you're not getting any if you're gonna be an asshole about it. You know, and it's, I don't know.
Asshole.
All right, no need for that.
Sorry.
But yeah, I stick to the fact that if somebody is cool about it, like, that's the lesson learned on this podcast, is like, if you're a decent human being about stuff that you like, chances are somebody is going to be willing to work with you.
And especially too, I think, like, I used to listen to, like, shoot, I forget what it was some dumb, like, hotline after dark, and people would call in with, like, their horrible sex stories or whatever, and they'd have, like, weird sex topics, and it was just, like, funny, you know? It was just, like, bizarre, and, like, Dr. Drew was on it, and people would ask relationship advice. And it was so funny, and someone, like, called in asking about anal and saying, like, what should I do about it? Like, I don't know, I don't like it. Last time, like, I, like, ripped and got all these terrible problems, and Dr. Drew was like, look, like, it's not gonna work for everybody. It takes time to, like, stretch things out, and, like, people are so dumb. And I guess he was saying there's actual lube that will numb you so you don't, like, feel anything, and it's like, why would anyone think that's a good idea ever?
Yeah,
you're gonna, like,
no, not being able to feel pain is the worst thing, because you don't know that you're fucked up.
Especially, and he's like, well, yeah, worst case scenario, like, you can rip in ways that are irreparable. And oh my god, sorry.
On that note, on to my second Craigslist.
Yeah.
Titled "Straight Porn Buddy."
Of course.
So, clean cut, straight white guy here. Love porn. Hoping to link up with other enthusiasts out there. Thought it'd be cool to chat about porn stars we're into. Swap links of awesome vids we find, etc. And he lists a couple things that he's into. So if that's also your thing, even better. Hit me up if that sounds cool to you as well. So I initially clicked this thinking that it was going to be, because all over Craigslist there's, like, dudes that want to, like, watch porn and jerk off with other dudes because they're, like, gay but don't want to admit it. And they're just like, oh, I want to, like, get jerked off by a dude, but I want to watch girls so that I can prove how straight I am. But I was clicking on it thinking it was going to be that, but it was, like, almost better, because it's just, like, he just wants, like, a friend that's, like, also into porn.
How sweet.
Oh, I forgot. He is 34.
Okay, all right. Mm-hmm.
The last one is the best one, just because the title's funny. I'm not going to read the whole thing. I'm just going to read the title because it's the funniest thing ever. Ready? Please give me $2 million.
Sign me the fuck up for that. Yes, please.
Like, literally, in summary, the rest of it is just a dude, like, talking about, like, how he just, like, wants somebody that's, like, super rich, so, like, giving him $2 million, like, wouldn't be a big deal. Like, it would be, like, an insignificant amount to them, but at him it would, like, make his life better.
Okay, I can respect that.
Yeah, and that's just all it is.
This reminds me of, I was watching Dr. Phil, and this woman was on this website. I think it's like Seeking Arrangements. It's basically like looking for a sugar daddy.
Yeah, that's
the one. Sugar mama. And she was saying her brother, like, came on with her, and, you know, she would basically said, like, okay, like, our dad paid for all of your college and everything, but no one helped me out. So yeah, you know, I've been dating guys for money. And, like, they had this huge list. Like, this guy basically bought over, like, 5 years. She got, like, $200,000, a car, all this great stuff. And she was, like, so, like, happy and positive about it. She's like, no, like, I don't sleep with them. Like, maybe if we develop a relationship. And she was so, like, normal. And, of course, they're like, oh, my God, how dare you? You're disgusting. And she was, like, so, like, okay, relax, guys. Like, this is how I do my thing. And, like, I made a fake account for the website because, again, I have no self-respect. And it is hilarious. It is, like, there are a couple people from our hometown, Taylor, and I was like, would I know you if I saw you in real life? Because,
Probably.
You know, it's a pretty small town.
Probably, like, the parents of people we went to school with.
Yeah. Oh, my biggest fear, I was on Craigslist, this is before, obviously, the podcast, and I think I sent it to Taylor. It was in our small hometown, and it was a swingers masquerade party.
You did
and
send me this.
They wanted to hire a woman who would be topless, who could also participate in the swinging if she wanted, but just waitress. And I was so tempted to reply just because I guarantee I feel like it's like our friends' parents that who were like secretly freaks. You know, like
absolutely. You kidding me?
You know, and I was curious, like I was like, who could this be? I really want to know. And they're also paying like an absurd, like over $1,000 or something. And so I was like not for me, but like, man, if I was more comfortable and I didn't know them, you know.
Here's the thing. If the people that were gonna be there were like normal people, there was no chance that I would know them. Maybe some of them were relatively attractive, whatever. If I feel like as long as I knew that nobody was going to take pictures of me, I can't see anything wrong with that.
Right? But I knew I would know somebody there. There's no way in hell I'm not going to know somebody there.
Yeah, you know, I just like, I'm thinking about it, and I'm like, because here, I have, like, too much anxiety to ever really do it, but if I was, like, a regular person that, like, didn't have a whole host of problems, like, I can't think of any reason why that would be a bad gig. You just walk around with your shirt off for 2 hours or whatever and bring people drinks. And get fucking paid. Like, holy shit, dude. Like, I don't think there's anything in there because you're not technically soliciting or doing anything. You're not, there's nothing you can get in trouble for.
I think if you participate in the swinging, you might have like a little legal problem, but either way, whatever.
Well, as long as you're not paid for it, you're fine.
Yeah, you're just paid for the waitressing.
Because, I'm thinking that, like,
because I'd be fine in, like, bikini, but actually topless, I think I'd be a little more, like, oh my god, boob. And, like, the thing is, too, is, like,
I think I wouldn't care.
The thing for me, too, is I have this thing where I feel like if I ever try and be sexy, I just, like, laugh. Because in my head, I know it's, like, I'm a super mega dork. So if I'm ever, like, hey, I can't. Like, Taylor and I tried to do the sexy wink one time. Like, where you, like, wink with your mouth open, like, sexy, like. And it just doesn't. It's just not me.
It's not real. It's not real.
You know, so I would be like, hey guys, and I whip out my googly eyes again, put them on my boobs, and be like,
I think the thing is, like, I would go about it like, I wouldn't try to be sexy, I would just be regular and happen to have my boobs out, is what it would be, is I would just be like a regular waitress, be cordial with everyone, you know what I mean, and be like very friendly, and just happen to have the titties out, you know, whatever.
Knockers out, yeah.
I think if I was going to resort to that, if my student loans get really bad, you know, I think that's how you'd have to play it. Because if you're trying too hard to be sexy, then it's weird.
Yeah.
Because you're just there to look pretty. You know what I mean? They're not necessarily, you know, you're the one serving the drinks. You're not necessarily advertising yourself.
Yeah, and as Jocelyn put it, some women have sex face. That's what she put it. Because we were talking, because her and everyone think Olivia Wilde is super, super sexy. And I was like,
Which one is she?
I definitely think she was 13 on House.
I never watched House.
Well, I don't know. Look her up. But
Done. Doing
she's
it right
basically
now.
Like, she's beautiful face, but for me, she's like very, like, she's tall and thin and petite and classical, like, attractive woman. But for me, you know, there's nothing to grab onto. I don't know. Like, it's just
her
beautiful
face looks
woman,
like a model. She's gorgeous.
Yeah, and so that's what Jocelyn said. Like, oh, she has sex face, so she comes off really super hot all the time just because of her face.
Yeah, she's super skinny.
Like, okay. Is super skinny, like a gorgeous, but you know.
Yeah, she looks. The thing about her too is like when I look at her, she looks like a regular person that's just thin. She doesn't look like unhealthy to me.
Yeah, definitely. She's just petite, and I'm sure she's tall.
Yeah, she looks like she's just not a large person because like she's like skinny, but you can tell that she's like if you look at certain pictures of her that she has like some sort of muscle thing going on. Like she's
she's in shape, you know, and she's petite. She's in shape, you know, and I was. And, like, because me, like, if I were a DJ, my name would probably be, like, Pudge Master Funk, just because my cheeks are just, like, I could never have what she has, which is fine. I'm obviously perfect. Oh, she
has,
was
like,
in
a really...
Tron.
I think the reason that she looks very interesting is because she has a very sort of square jawline.
Yeah.
And she has, to a degree, I have this thing, okay, I don't know what it is. Are you the one that's... I think it was you that I'm gonna...
Oh, no.
But why do people always associate me with sex? And you did this to you.
Let's pan up to your poster behind you.
I have, okay, so it's not a video podcast. The poster that's directly behind me actually is a Star Wars poster, okay?
Okay.
But the one that's next to it is from Eagles of Death Metal from their North American tour. And for those that aren't familiar with their album artwork, it's awesome. Look it up. Look up the album artwork for Zipper Down, and it's funny as hell.
I told Taylor she should be the album cover for Halloween.
I honestly, if I was going somewhere, if I was going to see them on Halloween, I would, and it would be so funny. Because I don't have, like, big enough boobs that I would get in trouble.
I think the thing is it's not that I think, like, oh, Taylor sex, but I think, like, everyone is so much of a prude that they never want to talk about, like, oh, this guy's attractive, or this woman's attractive. I think everyone's such, like, maybe a prude's not the right word, but they're so, like, uncomfortable with it that you don't. But you and I could just be like, oh, yeah, bang that guy, whatever, and it's not, like, a big deal between us.
Well, you also think that because you follow me on Tumblr and my tags are filthy.
But it's like, I get it, you know? Like, I get it.
Yeah, I don't know what it is, something, and just because I'm dumb and I don't wear glasses, I do the thing where if I go to stores that sell reading glasses, I always want to know, like, how do I look in glasses? Like, if I'm old and I might have to wear glasses, like, how am I going to look? And the person I was with, apparently, I don't know if it's just because I'm always with the, like, red lipstick and the, like, oh, long hair, mermaid hair, whatever, and, you know, I was basically told that, like, no matter what pair of glasses I wear, I look like a librarian from porn. And, like, I don't know. And I don't know what it is about me that, like, everybody always associates me with sex for some reason. And I'm not saying that as, like, oh, I'm going to brag about it. People think I'm super hot. Like, that's not what I'm saying at all. And I don't know if it's something to do with my personality, or which I guess makes sense. But it's just, like, for some reason, people just assume I'm, like, a really sexual person for some reason.
I just think you're just open about it, and it's like, which to me, that's a bonus. Like, I want to be able to send you a hot guy and be like, Taylor, look at this hot guy. Anyone else would be like, okay, Marissa, whatever. But you're like, oh, okay, like, you know, you'll give me some feedback on the hot guy I sent you, like the ANTM winner.
Yeah, man, shout out to that,
you know,
dude.
like, vice versa.
I think it's, too, it's because my, like, phone wallpaper is 90% of the time, like, whatever, like, random dudes.
Mine would be too, but I around kids too often to make that mistake.
Yeah. Well, here's the thing is, mine is never, like...
I had that one time. I had it as a Jax, like shirtless Jax, and I was babysitting.
We're talking about Jax from Sons of Anarchy, by the way, everybody.
Yeah. If you don't know him, you have a problem in your life.
Yeah, man, that dude.
And it was on my wallpaper, and I was just like, okay, I need my phone, don't touch my phone. And they were, like, concerned, and I was like, oh, I just, you know, that's my phone. Don't touch it, thank you. And, like, that one time I was showing this kid a picture, this, like, literal demon kid. I was showing him a photo of, I think it was you and I with Hagrid at Comic-Con, because he's a big Harry Potter fan. And then he swiped through one time, and it was this really weird picture of James, where I sent you, where he's, like, he has, like, a low-cut shirt with, like, a cross on and, like, his waxed eyebrows, and, like, and the kid was like, what the heck is that? And I had no choice but to explain him, like, okay, this is his picture, and I had to send it to my friend so she could know what's going on, because it's just, like, a very bizarre photo to take of yourself and post it publicly. And, you know, he's, like, 9, and but he kind of got it. He was like, oh, okay. And I was like, please, like, God, don't tell your mom.
Like, don't tell your mom.
I mean, I didn't say that, because then he would tell
this, like,
her,
fucking plastic surgery twink is just, I swear, he's just,
yeah.
Yeah, the thing about it, too, is my, like, phone wallpaper is never, like, 90% of the time, it's, like, people that I think are attractive, you know what I mean? But it's never, like, pictures with a sexual undertone, you know what I mean?
No, and that's what I think guys don't get, is, like, we can talk about guys without it being like gross, where I feel like when guys talk about women, they make it gross. Just like, not always, of course. I'm not going to be like, all guys are so gross, but like when I was talking about like Olivia Wilde and Megan Fox, like Clockwork, you're like, oh, she's so hot, I could sleep with her. When I can look at America's Next Top Model winner and just be like, wow, like he's a gorgeous man.
Yeah,
like,
and it's like,
whoa.
and that's where it ends. You're like, oh, that person is very attractive. Move on with my life. I don't need to like go jack off about it later. Like, it's not like.
Yeah. Anyway, but yeah, and so that's like the difference in like
Yeah, there was like a straight year where I think my phone wallpaper was like pictures of Dave Navarro. My wallpaper for a while was that picture too from, I posted about it in the linked up last week, that picture from the Eagles of Death Metal show. Shout out to shirtless Jesse Hughes. But for a while like that, my wallpapers have been like Josh Homme for a long time, because that dude looks like a model all the time. They're Jesse Hughes for a while, because there's a lot of like, I like pictures that like make me laugh kind of, and I also like pictures that just look cool. You know what I mean? Like, there's some pictures I have that I use as wallpapers, like, obviously because I think the person in them is attractive, you know what I mean? They're like some dude from a band that I love, you know what I mean?
And it's usually people who aren't like stereotypically attractive, you know, like people that are.
That's because that's just
like
the way that I am too.
Yeah, like Josh Homme is cute and he's like kind of quirky and funny, and like same with Jesse Hughes. Like when you look at like when Taylor was showing me him, I was like, huh, like okay,
you're like, okay, Taylor's a fucking nut job, yeah.
When I saw him perform, I turned to Taylor and I was like, oh my god, Taylor, I get it. You know, it's just like his energy, his energy make him attractive.
Yeah, exactly. That dude, Jesse Hughes, has an energy unmatched by anybody else I have ever seen.
Yeah, I just like, I was like, okay, Taylor, like he's cute, whatever. And then I saw him and I was like, what's wrong with me? What's happening? Womanhood is taking over.
Yeah, there's something to be said. People are always like, oh, confidence is blah, blah, blah. But for somebody like him, that is absolutely true. That is one of the most confident dudes on the planet.
And the weird thing about the show, too, was, like, his son was there, who was, like, around our age, probably, who was pretty attractive, and it was both like, you're cute, but what's your dad doing? You know, like, you know, and his son was cute, but anyway, but, yeah.
It's just like, plus...
people like that. That's why I love Sigourney Weaver, because... I just love her. Like, obviously, she's, like, older now, but I love the Alien movies.
I feel like she's pretty, like... I feel like... I don't want to say... Okay, one time somebody, like, told me that I was conventionally attractive, and I took that as an insult, because I have a story about that, too. So, but I'm not saying that as, like, a humble brag thing. I'm saying it because there's a context for that makes me angry, and I'll explain that afterward.
Someone called me peculiar the other day, and I was like,
But I was going to say, like, I feel like Sigourney Weaver is somebody that's not, like, she doesn't have, like, an unusual beauty. Like, she's, like, I feel like most people that look at her think she's hot.
Yeah, except for Jocelyn and Norrin and their roommate, which
they are literally, they are not known for their taste. They have the worst taste.
Oh, true. But it was irritating me because, like, I didn't realize I love Sigourney to the point where I was, like, offended by it. Like, I immediately was like, how dare you say about Sigourney? And I was like, well, Marissa, you don't know Sigourney, you know, relax. But my favorite Sigourney is, I think it's Alien, it's like it's proclaimed the worst Alien, but where she buzzes her head. And to me, when women are able to buzz their head and still be super feminine and attractive, like, to me, that's like, whoa, who are you? You know, because most women... You know, it's hard to pull off, but she just does it so well, and she's just like, I just love her, you know, I love everything about her. But they're being so rude. Oh, it's Alien 3 where she buzzes her head. And
I think I've talked about this where I feel that to a degree where it's like it's not like,
and it's also a confident
I like
thing.
It when
like,
people
you don't need your hair, you know?
I like it when people have interesting things about them that make them attractive.
Yeah, exactly.
You know what I mean? Like, to me, that's something very interesting and unique for a woman to have, and for somebody that, like, to be able to have that and have it look good, that's very attractive to me. Because I'm like, wow, that is a, you know, interesting kind of ballsy thing to do, and it, you know, it looks really good. And I'm like, wow, that's really attractive that somebody, you know, has the confidence to do this, you know, kind of out there thing. My fucking story that I was going to tell. Okay, so this happened, like, the reason that it was, like, upsetting to me, and which is, so it's gonna sound, a lot of people are gonna be like, why is she upset by a compliment? Just accept it. But here's why. So I was talking to somebody, and I'm not gonna specify who or anything. I'm sure Marissa will know as soon as I start this story. But I was talking to somebody that was basically telling me that, like, because I'm white, I'm conventionally attractive. And they were like
Okay.
saying that it's like a lot easier for me to like look good in stuff or look good doing stuff because I was, quote, conventionally attractive. And I was like, what does that mean? Like,
What?
and I was kind of annoyed about it because I was like, first of all, like the only thing you mean by conventionally attractive is white. Like that's literally what you mean by that. And the reason I know that is because I'm not what a lot of people would consider conventionally attractive. Like in the sense that like, you know what I mean? I look like a fucking straight up punk ass all the time. You know what I mean? And there's a lot of people that are put off by that. You know what I mean? Like, and so it's like, I'm not, you know, saying that I'm like, you know, weird looking or anything. I feel like I look like an average, you know, white person, whatever. Although, shout out to Lewis, who apparently didn't think that I was white for some reason. But
With your translucent skin?
not because of that. Just like, I guess because I don't know. I'm going to have him, fucking Lewis, wherever you are, you're going to be on the podcast someday and you're going to fucking explain yourself. I guess
call
it was
him
just
right
like,
now, emergency.
I guess it was just like a features thing because I don't have any like specific standout features that are like, you know, white person. Like I don't I don't know how to explain it. He'll have to come on the podcast and explain it better. So fucking Lewis, I'm calling you out. You're coming on the podcast. I don't care when, whatever. I'll drive to San Diego. You'll be on the podcast. And so I was thinking about this, and this person was telling me this, and they're like, yeah, you know, you can look good and stuff that I can't because you're conventionally attractive. And I was like, do you mean because I'm white?
Plus, that's weird
Like-
because it's like when I'm telling my grandma like it's hard for me to shop for clothes or whatever. Her being like an older kind of older woman is like, Marissa, you could wear potato sack and still look good, word for word. My grandma tells me, which to her is like because I'm like petite, you know, I can wear whatever and be fine. So it's like one thing to say like, hey Taylor, you know, you're an average looking person, so you can wear this stuff. Like if, you know, I was overweight or something, I wouldn't look as good. But when you're saying literally your facial features decide what you can or cannot wear.
It was like I don't know
that's
if it was like if she was talking
like-
about like facial features or like body wise or what was going on there. But it was
but either
just
way,
like,
it doesn't make any sense.
yeah, and I was like kind of offended by it because I was like, I know what you mean by that and I know that it's an insulting thing coming from you. And most people would just take that as like, whoa, wow, this person is saying you're attractive and you're being an asshole about it. But it's like, no, it's like I know in the context and coming from this particular individual that it's not a good thing.
Well, and it's like a low key, yeah. It's kind of like a low key insult, and it's a way they can pity themselves too. Like, what are you supposed to say?
Absolutely. This is a common thing,
like,
which is why I'm not calling this person out on it because this is like not the first time this is. Remember that? Did I tell the story on the podcast of the learning a language and having to get out of my white person mindset?
You
Same
did.
person. For our regular listeners, this is the same person. That's apparently just really bitter that I'm white. I don't know, but it's just like it was such a weird thing to me, and I was like, I didn't really have time to like question it because we were like in class and like whatever, and I was like, what does that mean? Like, and the thing is too is I hadn't even really brought it up. Like, I was just mostly bitching because I was like talking about like. I was mentioning it was a specific type of like lipstick or makeup or something, and I was like, there's this cool thing that I don't remember what it was because it was like 2 years ago. I was like, I don't remember what it was, but it was like, yeah, you know, there's this cool thing that I see a lot of people doing, but it doesn't look good on me because I'm, you know, whatever, because I have dark hair and, you know, whatever, like certain things look better on certain people with certain skin tones, hair color, whatever, and as like an art person, I'm very acutely aware of that. And so I can't physically do something that I don't think complements my general complexion and appearance because it would bother me,
like,
and I think that I look like shit.
You're not going to wear bright orange eyeshadow, but if you have like a really like pretty dark skin, it could look way more flattering.
Exactly,
than you,
yeah, exactly. And so
that's why I don't ever wear red eyeshadow because it makes me look like I have pink eye, unless like I'm trying to do a smoky eye. Otherwise, it just straight up looks like I have pink eye against my white complexion.
Yeah, it's like it's the same thing for you. Like if Marissa is naturally blonde, so like her like eyebrows, eyelashes are light or whatever. It's like I look okay with like dark dyed jet black hair because my eyebrows are dark because I'm naturally a dark brunette. Eyelashes dark, but if Marissa had the same hair color, she'd look like a freak. You know what I mean? And it's the same kind of thing that like
be very obvious.
That like a lot of people are like, you know, weird about. They're like, you should be able to do whatever you want. And I'm like, I'm not saying you can't do it. I'm just saying that like there's options that are similar.
Yeah, like no one would really guess black isn't your natural hair color unless
people
they've known you forever.
People think it is, which is funny to me.
Yeah, where me it'd be really obvious, like, yeah, not your natural hair color, which my hair is like fading blues.
Yeah,
And,
but it's
whatever,
like,
but
and so I was like just casually talking about this. I remember it was some random trendy thing. It was like some color, and I was like, I really wish I could wear this because I love the way it looks on people, but it doesn't look good on me. And I was like, and it kind of sucks because it's really this cool thing I saw online, and I want to do it, but whatever. And this person was like, well, you can pretty much do anything else because you're like conventionally attractive. And I was like, can we not make it about you for a second? They're like, yeah, like I, on the other hand, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, I was just like, I just wanted to bitch about one thing for a second because it's really cool.
Like,
and I really want to do the thing that I can't, like, why is it got to be about you?
I'm sure Taylor and I, like, on the podcast complain a lot, but, like, this girl is, like, queen of complaints. Like,
yeah,
I don't know. Like, yeah. we don't have to get to it, but yeah, like, it's just, like, just let somebody vent and, like, relax. You don't have to, like, input your personal opinion on every single thing. Like, sometimes people want to vent just to vent. Like, yeah, I wish I could do this, or, man, this is hard. Sometimes all you have to say is, like, oh, I'm sorry. Like, you don't have to...
Yeah, and, like, it's one thing if you're, trying to, like, relate and trying to be like, hey, I understand what you're dealing with, because I've also dealt with this.
I can't do this.
Yeah, it's, like, that's one thing, and it's, like, it's all about tone, kind of, too, because it's, like, if Marissa was like, oh, I really want to go to the, I really want to do this thing, but it doesn't look good on me, I'd be like, oh my god, I totally know what you mean. Here's this thing that I want to do, and it totally doesn't look good on me, haha. But it's one thing if I was like, Marissa, but, like, it's like, this doesn't look good on me, and also this, and you are so lucky, because you can do all this. And I'm like, okay, chill out. Like, it's not that big of a deal. Like, I just wanted to casually bitch about something cool that I saw, because a chick in our class was doing it. Like, stop.
Oh, literally stop.
Literally just stop. Yeah, and it's like, I don't know. I don't want to, like, get too much into it, but...
Well, and, yeah... Because obviously we're going to be super famous. And we don't take this bad.
No, I don't care. Just like, fuck you. Shut the fuck up. Stop complaining.
And it's one thing, too. It's like, sometimes when you complain, yeah, it's just to vent. But when you, like, complain enough about something without actively trying to change what you're complaining about, which X, Y, and Z person may or may not do, it's like, you need to stop complaining and, like, take control and deal with it.
Yeah, it's like people that complain about their jobs all the time and then won't fix it. This is related also. It's like, just because, like, I have had experience with people that are just, like, constantly bitching. They're like, I hate my job, I hate the people I work with, I hate this and this. I'm like, why don't you start looking for another job? Like, yeah, I know that you're not actively trying to do something about it. Like, if it's one thing to complain about it, sometimes that's fine. I complain a lot. That's just what I do.
You have a hard day.
All right,
I bitch
all the time about everything. But, like, if you're going to complain on a daily basis about something and then not make any effort at all to fix it, shut the fuck up. I don't want to hear about it anymore. I don't care.
Yeah, I don't need to hear it. That's like my aunt. Like, always complaining, always wanting money, always saying X, Y, and Z. It's like, okay, you're a 50-year-old woman, theoretically a grown-ass adult, and you're still asking your 70 to 80-year-old parents to help you. Like,
doesn't she have money too, and she just, like, doesn't...
Yeah, and, like, she's never gonna listen to this, but she always is saying, like, I don't have any money, I can't do this, I can't do that, but we know she does, and my mom accidentally, opened her, like, bank thing, and there was, like, a substantial amount of money in there, and she showed my grandparents, and of course my grandparents were like, well, don't open that, it's none of your business, and my mom was like, okay, but, like, she begs you for money literally every month, and she's on like a special housing thing, so her rent is, like, fixed. It's like, I think it's, like, less than $800 every month, and it's like, she doesn't make a lot of money, but she has savings. She's consistently working 5 days a week, 8-hour days. Her rent's not that much. She has a roommate who I don't know if is actually pitching in or not, but it's,
I didn't know she had a roommate. How long has this been going on?
It's her... I don't, like, I want to go into the story, but Taylor already knows about it, but it's her boyfriend's mom.
Oh. And do you feel comfortable telling that story? Don't, like, tell maybe exactly what happened, but, like, give the situation why her boyfriend's not living with her.
Her boyfriend is in prison.
Not just jail, by the way. Fucking prison, by the way. There is a difference.
Prison. He recently got transferred, to somewhere close to us, which is not a good place to be. And I won't go into detail about his whatever, but, you know, it's weird too, because if you're, like, dating someone in prison and you really feel like they shouldn't be there, like, you shouldn't feel ashamed to talk about it, you know? Like, I understand there's taboo, but you can tell
I
my
think there
aunt
was
is,
an
like,
episode of Taboo called
embarrassed
Prison
about
Love,
it.
actually.
Oh my God,
For anybody
what?
that's interested.
Call it my aunt. So, and my aunt's a
Call
bigger
it my
woman.
aunt.
She's, you know, dating this black guy in prison. And the situation is very weird. But anyway, so his mom is living with her, and, like, my aunt had a cat, and, like, the other woman has, like, a cat or two, and that his mom is, like, a bigger woman. And she's told my aunt, like, yeah, when I don't like someone, I purposely cook them these really fatty meals to, like, try and fatten them up. And my aunt already has problems with her weight, and my aunt doesn't, like, connect the dots that maybe she's doing that with her.
Oh no.
And my aunt's also a hoarder.
Wait, if her boyfriend's mom doesn't want to live there, why doesn't she just leave? If she doesn't like her.
That's the same, like, my aunt will complain about her all the time, but she won't ask her to leave because I don't think she doesn't want to upset her boyfriend or whatever.
Her boyfriend's in prison,
like,
he's not gonna know.
Yeah, it's like, you're an adult. You know, this woman is, like, really actual, like, I don't know how old she is, but, like, if her son is my aunt's age, you know, 20 years older at least. And, oh my God, it's just like, yeah, anyways, and then she complains she has no money. It's like, you have a roommate, tell her she needs to start paying you if she's not already, which she probably is.
Yeah, why doesn't, yeah, I don't, what?
Yeah, it's very bizarre.
That's
You need to go on
wild.
Jerry.
That is so wild.
Yeah, and, ooh, God. But she's a psychic aunt who will eventually come on the show.
Yeah, eventually I want to get a
Not
reading
talking about
live
that,
on air.
but-
That's like my dream with the podcast, is I want to do an on-air reading.
Yeah,
Speaking of roommates, did I tell the story on the podcast about, have I told this story yet about my roommate from last year? Have I told this on air yet?
I think briefly, but I don't think we went into detail. It's been a while, at least.
Because I
think we
don't want to
can
tell the story because
briefly
it's such a
recap.
long story. I don't want to tell it if I've already told it. But I don't think I have, because I imagine it would have been in the title of the episode because it's fucking bizarre. But basically, I had this roommate that, like, wouldn't talk to me. Like, not because...
I would call her Robo Roommate.
Yeah, we called her Robo Roommate, which I'll get into later. But yeah, she wouldn't talk to me. And it wasn't, like, because we didn't get along. It was because, I guess, she just didn't want to be friends. Which is, like, okay, fine. But, like, and so so my roommate the year before... I had become really close with, like, you know, we'd become friends, like, you know, we didn't know each other really before we moved in together, and then, because I was living on campus, we became really close friends. It was really awesome. I still, you know, talk to her sometimes, whatever. But yeah, this chick, the second year, like, did not really want to interact with me at all. And I guess she was just thinking of it like, you know, that we're just going to be roommates, not friends. And so, you know, I would be like, oh, hey, I'm going to go grab dinner. Like, you want to come? You know, because she was a freshman, I was not. So I was like, oh, maybe she's just, you know, not talking to me because she's, like, intimidated. And I'm not an intimidating individual. But, you know, I was like, maybe
she has
she's
anxiety or whatever.
Exactly, yeah. I was like, oh, maybe she's intimidated by the fact that, you know, I'm, you know, a year above her or whatever. And so I was like, oh, you know, I'm going to go grab some dinner. You want to come, or you want me to bring you anything? She's like, oh, no, thanks. And I was like, so I tried this for like 3 weeks before I just gave up. I was like, okay, fuck me, I guess. Like, you know, I was like, you can only like try to be somebody's friend for so long before you just kind of give up. I was like, okay, now this is just like dumb. And so there was just like a lot of really weird interactions, and like all the time she would do this thing where she would like go to bed but not say anything to me. And when you live on campus, I don't know how it is. I go to a state school, okay? So I'm not like, you know, living the, you know, fucking dorm room dream. Okay, but so we shared, my voice sounded weird there because I thought I was going to sneeze, but I didn't. And so we shared one room, is how it usually works when you live on campus. You share one room with another person, and honestly, it's not that bigger than my bedroom is now at our apartment, okay? And so it was weird because she would do this thing where she would just like go to bed and then not say that she was going to bed. But like, and to the point that like I would just be doing stuff, I would be awake, whatever, and all of a sudden I would turn around and she would be in bed. I was like, how long has she been in bed? Like, I have been making noise. Like, if she's trying to sleep, like, why didn't she say anything? Like, it was really weird. And so eventually, and then because a lot of the stuff I was doing at the time, I didn't necessarily need the light to be on. So I was like, okay, she's in bed. Like, I can turn off the light. That's fine. You know what I mean? Like, just because whatever, it's, you know, weird. And so then it got to the point where I think she expected me to turn off the light when she went to bed. because, like, she would, like, get in bed and then, like, cover her face with the, like, covers, I guess, to, like, keep... My dog does that to keep out the light, okay? So I assume she was doing the same thing. Okay, I'm not even kidding. My dog, she shoves her face behind pillows so that it can be dark when she wants to take a nap. But... And so it was just weird, and it got to the point where I could tell she, like, expected me to now be the one turning off the light, and it was just, like, it was very, very
Without
awkward,
or, like...
because I could tell that she, like, wanted to go to bed, but didn't want to say anything to me for some reason. Like, and I don't care, like, you know, maybe she didn't care that the light was on, I don't know, but it created a very uncomfortable situation for me, because I was like, okay, well, clearly she's in bed now, and I've been sitting here for who knows how long with the overhead light on, listening to music, like, making noise, clacking away on my computer, trying to fucking write whatever. And I was like, now I'm the asshole because she's trying to sleep, in quotes, and I'm making all this noise.
And wasn't she really weird about changing, too?
Oh my god, okay.
Like...
Here's the thing. I have no direct issue with people that don't necessarily like changing in front of other people. You know what I mean? You do you, like, whatever, okay? Fine. I personally am fairly shameless. And that does not mean I'm going to fucking get naked on the podcast or anything, because I'm not that level of shameless. However, if we're friends, I'll change in front of you. I don't care. If I live with you, I'm going to fucking change in front of you. I don't
Yeah, when you share a room. And
right, like, I'm standing 15 feet away from you, okay? Like, you don't got to be weird about, like, taking off your pants. We all wear underwear. It's not like a taboo, okay? Like, stop. And it's fine if she's, like...
underwear.
It's fine if she was, like, uncomfortable with herself changing. You know what I mean? But she was, like, so weird. I don't want to say prudish, but, like, she was, like, so weird about it, to the point that I felt like I had to be careful and weird about it, because I didn't want to risk making her uncomfortable.
Yeah, that's like, and it's like, so Taylor also obviously, like, had a dorm shower, so there's not really a lot of, like, private areas to, like,
no,
right, to change
absolutely
or whatever.
not. So. And then, the weirdest part about the roommate, I haven't even gotten to the weirdest part yet. Oh my god, how could I forget about this? So, nearing the end of, I swear I've told this story on the podcast before, but I'll tell it again just in case. I'll tell, like, the fucking short version, but basically, near the end of the semester, or the second semester, she just, like, she went home every weekend, whatever, and, but I wouldn't, because I, you know, am currently going to school fucking, like, 8 hours away by car from where I live, so I'm about to go home every weekend. That's one hell of a commute. But, so she would go home every weekend, and sometimes she wouldn't come back on Sunday nights. She would come back Monday instead. That's fine, whatever. So, at this point, she comes back, and it's like, okay, whatever, week goes by. She leaves again for the weekend. I'm like, okay, sweet, got the place to myself, awesome. And then, but she, like, doesn't come back after the weekend. And I'm like, okay, that's, you know, whatever. Maybe she's sick. She doesn't come back all the next week.
I thought she was, like, straight up murdered, honestly.
Yeah, and I was like, okay, you know, she didn't come back this week. Maybe she's sick, whatever. Because she, like, never made an effort to be my friend, we never got around to getting each other's phone numbers. So I couldn't text her and be like, are you dead? And so, like, we were fucking... And so another week goes by and she still doesn't come back. And then it's spring break. So I go home for a week. And I go home to the Bay Area for a week, whatever. And then I come back after spring break. She still doesn't come back. Weeks go by. She still doesn't come back. And then it gets to be the end of the semester. And she still does not come back. And I'm like, okay, this is weird. Like, what the fuck? So I go to the RA and I'm like, my roommate is gone. Do you know anything about this? The RA was like, what? I was like, okay, now this is a thing, because I should have said something earlier. Like, I was like, I'm really sorry. I thought she was sick. I thought maybe you knew. The RA was like, no, like, don't worry. Like, thanks for telling me. Like, it's not your fault, you know, that you didn't tell me, because she, in theory, should have told me if she, you know, was having some issue that was causing her to not be able to live here. And so we're like, because all her stuff was still there. And so this is happening, and then it's finals week. You know, finals week spanned over, like, maybe a week and a half or something like that, whatever. And so I'm taking my finals, doing whatever. I come back, I'm holding 2 giant paintings for my class, and I'm like, okay, I need to drop these off really quick, and then I gotta leave, like, within, you know, a minute after, because I'm like, I gotta leave, like, I have another class to get to, you know, super important. I only have, like, 10 minutes to drop off my stuff, and then I have to go, you know, I don't want to carry these giant paintings around, what the fuck ever, but, So I come back and I'm like, oh, that's weird. I guess I left the light on, because you could see through the like peephole in the door whether or not the light was on, just whatever angle the light was at, And I was like, I guess I left the light on. That's weird. I always turn it off before I leave. I open the door. Fucking there she is. Just like putting her like stuff away. And I'm like, what? And of course I can't stick around and like be like, what the fuck is going on? How are you alive? You know what I mean? She's just like, oh, hey. Hey? Like, what? And so I drop off my stuff and I'm like, hi. Clearly I'm very uncomfortable, because now I'm just like, okay, like I'm gonna drop off my stuff and go to class now, I guess. So I go to my other class, I come back, and I'm thinking about it, I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna like, ask her about it when I come back, like I don't know if she's gonna want to talk about it, but I didn't want to like ask her about it the second I got in, like burst in the door, hey, what the fuck? You know what I mean? So like, I was like, okay, whatever, I'll ask her about it later. That's fine, not a big deal. And so I get back later, all her stuff is gone. It's literally all gone. Like that half of the room is fucking empty. There's not even like sheets on her bed. It's just gone. And I talked to the RA and I was like, did she, I'm not going to say her name. I was like, did she move out? Like, and the RA was like, what are you talking about? And I was like, oh no, now this is a whole fucking thing all over again.
Oh, no.
Because when you move out, you're supposed to check with the RA. For people that haven't lived in like a campus dorm thing before, when you move out, you're supposed to check with like the RA to make sure that, because if you like fucking broke a desk or something, they fine you for that shit. And so the RA was like, no, what are you talking about? Like she moved out? Like what? And I was like, oh no, here we go. And so what you're supposed to do is, if you don't check with the RA, it's a fat fine. It's like $500 or $400 or something crazy like that. And so she had like up and just like moved out, did not tell the RA, like after being gone for like the entire semester, she just like moved out randomly for no reason. And I never heard from her again.
My personal theories is that she's a sleeper agent and she got activated and left, and then, had to eliminate her.
Also, I forgot, yeah, the reason we called her Robo Roommate was because she would just like not do anything for really extended periods of time. Like, in the sense that I would go to class, come back and hang around, finish my homework, go eat dinner, come back, and she would like have not moved.
Yeah, and like never said a word to Taylor. Like,
and like she'd like not really say anything to me. I never really saw her eat. Like I would walk in sometimes and it would smell like food, and I was like, okay, clearly she ate something, but like what? And it was just
where was it? Where
it was so weirdly frustrating. I was like, what is going on with this chick? Like, and of course, I was like, if she wants to like, be cool and be friends, we can do that. But I was just like, I'm so tired of this just being weird in every way.
Yeah, so I think she was a sleeper agent, or maybe like a lizard person, or some kind of weird thing going on. I don't know, but some kind of conspiracy theory is going on with her. That's all I gotta say about that.
Yeah, it's fucking bizarre, dude. I don't even know. That's like the weirdest. And I love weird roommate stories just because I like that shit. But that's
spooky. And everyone was like wanting to know like what's the new update? What's going on?
Every single weekend, yeah. People, oh, so did your roommate come back? Did your roommate come back? And I was like, no. And I guess the eerie part about it too was that when she left, she like fully intended to come back, it looked like, because on her desk was like an open notebook. Like she was like in the middle of homework and she was like, oh, I'll just finish this when I come back, and then she didn't.
What if she's a ghost and her last wish was like go to college, and then she realized she just wanted to die instead, and then she did?
I feel like what?
you it's just spooky. She's like ghostly, like she's not human. All I'm saying, something's not right with her.
Yeah,
like a lizard person, alien, sleeper agent. I don't know, Taylor, but something is not right with that girl.
It was weird. Needless to say, it was a very bizarre experience, because I was like on edge the whole time too, because every Sunday night or whatever, I would like try my best to like clean up and be like, oh, I wonder if
this is and put pants on.
Yeah, I was like, I wonder if this is the weekend she's gonna come back. Who knows?
Not I.
I know it's like a weird thing to be like on edge about, but it was just like, it was very bizarre, because I felt like
it's weird because it's like you're not barely your acquaintance all the time. Like I feel nervous enough around people I don't know, and you basically didn't know her the entire semester. So to not know someone you don't know,
I lived with her for a fucking year, dude.
Yeah, to not know if someone you barely know is coming. You know, like when Jocelyn has people over that I don't really know, I try and be social, but at the same time, I'm like uncomfortable because I don't know how to interact with people that I don't know. Like I went to a party for the first time in my life, you know, with my cousin and her friends, and I ended up talking to their roommate the whole time because I realized, wait a minute, like I was talking to him and I ran out of things to say, and so I poked Nora and Jocelyn's husband. I'm like, okay, we ran out of things to say now, like come talk to us. Like I don't know what to say, and he had this stupid outfit on, and I was like laughing, and I was like, I finally had to tell him like, I'm sorry, like your outfit is so ridiculous, I can't not laugh at you, and I'm not trying to be mean, I can't take you seriously. You know, I can't. I'm very awkward around people.
Yeah,
and so that's why, like, when I think I'm making a friend, I feel like I go overboard, and then I push them away because it's like, wait a minute, I can actually maybe talk to you, and then they end up thinking like I'm like weird because I get nervous and talk too much, you know?
Yeah, I really don't like parties that much. Like, I purposely don't, especially these days, like, I don't want to do stuff for my birthday, like, you know what I mean, stuff like that. I'm just like, okay, I don't want to do anything, like, I'm much more comfortable just, you know, just hanging out, doing whatever. I don't want to do anything for my, you know, whatever. And, like, and I'll purposely not go to parties, you know, somebody will invite me to a party, and I'll be like, you know what, no, it's fine, I don't want to go, whatever. And just because, like, I'm not a person that I feel like easily socializes with people I don't know, in the sense that, like,
Yeah.
like, if there's other people and we all don't know anybody, that's fine. I can do that just fine, you know what I mean? But it's like, if people are already in there, like, people are naturally so cliquey.
Yeah.
That there's a lot of people out there that if you try to, like, insert yourself into their, like, group, they're gonna just be like,
yeah,
okay,
the woman
whatever,
I bonded
bye.
with the most was she was just sitting there fully clothed, like alone, and I was like, hey, I feel like you feel as awkward as I do. What's up? And she was like the girlfriend of the guy who was hosting the party, and he worked at this casino, so all the girls were casino girls wearing basically nothing. And she was like a normal, like bigger, pretty girl, and I could tell, like,
Yeah.
I mean, I wasn't wearing a lot because I was Wonder Woman, but not because I was like, Wonder Woman's so hot, because I basically in a onesie, like a baby onesie, basically.
Yeah.
But because, like, I like Wonder Woman, I think she's badass, and, like, you know, I don't have long legs to show off, my boobs aren't flying out, so to me, I was like, okay, I'm actually a costume, where everyone else was, like, not really being a costume, you know? So I hung out with her, and then, yeah, like, I don't know. Like, if we had I don't know. But it was okay.
Yeah, I just, like, it's annoying, too. Like, I don't like going to parties where the only person I know is the host, because they're obligated to kind of talk to everybody
busy.
that's there. Yeah, and I've gone to multiple... This one chick I know has, like, a New Year's party at her house every year, because her house is, like, a fucking mansion. And I went one year, and I was like, okay, I went one year because there was a lot of people I know that were there, and I was fine. I went the next year, and really the only person I knew for hours until people came later was her. And I was like, okay, this is cool, but, like, please don't leave me.
Right?
Because it was like, a lot of it was she had friends over, and because it was her parents' house, and because it's such a huge house, you know, she had friends over, her siblings had some friends over, her parents had friends over, so I was like, all of these people, I'm the only one here other than you that's within my age group.
Yeah.
I was like
and then
17, 18 or something at the time, and I was like, I'm not going to go socialize with your parents' friends. Like, this is weird for me. Like, please don't walk away again.
Jocelyn was bouncing around from, like, person to person because she knew everyone. I'm like, okay, I don't want to follow her around like a puppy dog and not say anything because that's awkward. So I was talking with Norin, and who he was talking about, and they started to joke about, like, Bill Cosby, and I couldn't sit there, and I finally had to be like, okay, guys, it's not something you joke about because this is a really serious situation, and I know it's easy to be lighthearted about it, but, like, y'all are not about to make fun of that in front of me. And then immediately I could tell I was labeled as the, like, you know, whatever person, you know, like, annoying person. But I was like, I couldn't, like, these grown-ass adults joking about it, men, it was, like, making me really uncomfortable, and I was like, no, like, y'all need to check yourself. I can't. Shit. But then I started talking about how you and I just watched that Jerry Springer, how some guy's penis got cut off, or he cut off his own penis. So I was like, okay, if you want to talk about something uncomfortable, I'm going to make y'all all feel uncomfortable about something.
Oh my God.
But then, yeah, I think I talked about this before, they had the nerve to be like, well, you couldn't possibly understand what that would be like. And I'm like, really? Like, I can't fathom. But anyway. Guys are dumb. Moral of the story.
Right? It's like anything being cut off is going to be a similar level of pain. Like, just stop. Get your shit together. You should have just been like, yeah, well, you guys will never understand the pain of giving birth, which is actually less than that. Or, sorry, it's more than cutting off your dick.
I said women in Africa get butchered all the time, so they can't feel, like, sexual pleasure, you know, in certain ways.
Yeah.
And they didn't care about that. Like, to them, like, that wasn't equivalent, even though it's
literally the same thing.
Literally, basically the same thing, and it's, you know, and the guy on Jerry's getting the penis reconstruction, and, like, women who do that, like, there's really no going back, you know, like, it's nerves are gone, but anyway, crazy.
What a mess. On that note, we have been recording for, like, 2 hours.
Oh, no. Oh, God, we're so funny.
Are we, though?
No.
Yeah, anyway, to wrap up this, wow, nice. I'm gonna keep that in, I'm not editing that out. To wrap up this edition of the podcast, we've reached our 10th episode.
Woo!
So it's, you know, may not be a large milestone to most people with podcasts, but guess what? That means we've been doing this shit for 10 weeks. That's pretty impressive.
And usually I quit everything I attempt, so...
I was gonna make that joke, damn it! Anyway, as always, leave a comment if you're, you know, responding to whatever we're talking about. We always, you know, audience interaction is the shit.
If you have a Neopet account, tell us your username. We will add you in a heartbeat.
Oh my god, yeah.
In a hot second.
Yeah, so if you're, you know, whatever want to respond to us, you can always email us shit, send us links to funny Craigslist from your area, because I get LA Craigslist, Marissa's an SFA Craigslist. So if there's something weird happening in your neighborhood, please send it to us. Yeah, oh my god, please.
Screenshot it.
If you do, we'll absolutely read it on air too. If you send us a really good one, we'll totally read it. Just put your like first name or whatever. If you are going to send us shit. Like a Craigslist ad, if you want us to read it on air, just put your first name.
Don't send us shit.
But... Oh no. But yeah, so our email will be in the description and in the video. And
we will try and figure out video thing whenever.
Yeah, I don't know how soon that's gonna happen. Because it'll probably have to be some sort of split screen thing. But
if you have any advice on how to do that,
I mean, I can figure it out. You know, it's not like it would be necessarily that difficult. It's just, I feel like we don't currently have
to get the
right equipment. You know what I mean? I would rather do it when I had the ability to do it well instead of making it shitty.
Although, the blurrier it is, the better I'm gonna look.
Yeah, that's I'm not agreeing with you that you'll look better. I'm saying that I will also look better. So yeah, we'll just do, if you wear glasses, take them off when you watch our video.
Dim your computer a little bit.
Turn the screen off and just listen to it, actually, yeah. Just straight up, like, close your eyes or, like, squint. You know what I mean? Yeah, but video...
Stand, like, 10 feet away.
I wish I could say that it's going to happen soon, but I don't necessarily know if that's true, because I don't know if we just have the capacity for that right now. But when it does...
Well, maybe after finals we can play around just testing it and see how feasible it realistically is.
Yeah, we'll have to see. It'll be interesting. If we can make it work, it'll be cool. But if not, oh well, it's a podcast anyway. You're mostly here to listen to us talk. But yeah, if we do get something like that figured out, we'll put like a heads up or something too. We'll probably talk about it the week before. And then, you know, figure it out that way. But until then, you know, happy listening, whatever. Plus, I think the main reason I'm wary of video is because I think as soon as I start messing with video, the quality is going to change. Because of the fact that it can only, right now, logically export and upload stuff at a certain quality if I want it to do it in a reasonable time and be an okay size. So it'll potentially, if we do move on to something like a video platform, it will take a lot longer to edit and upload. So we might have to rework it or push an upload date to later in the week. Because we're going to have to keep recording on weekends no matter what. but it might have to push the upload date back. So depending on, you know, if we get a larger audience or whatever by then, we can do some sort of back and forth with audience feedback, seeing, you know, how people feel about pushing it back later, which I personally don't care about. I wouldn't mind, you know, things getting moved, whatever, because people will listen to it when they listen to it anyway. You know what I mean? Nobody's going to be, you know, waiting for the second it uploads. So it's not that huge of a deal because we're not doing anything live. So it doesn't matter. But, you know, so we'll see how that works out. And we'll see if we can even have the capacity for it or make it work. But, I mean, if we do try it and it's not what we want it to be, we can always go back to audio too. It's not the end of the world until we...
I just know people are dumb and they love to see, like, who...
It's because the
like,
internet,
like,
the internet has, like, an obsession. If you're a woman, they're, like, obsessed with knowing what you look like, which honestly is part of the reason I just don't want to, is because I just, like, I don't want to give people the satisfaction.
But sexy.
I just, like, don't want people to have, like, the satisfaction of, like, because with the internet now, people are, like, so, like, if people don't know what you look like, they don't care. And I'm like, you know what, fuck you. Like, pay attention to me because I'm funny, not because I have tits, okay? Like, stop.
I know, it's like a vicious cycle, kind of.
Yeah. I'll just wear a different mask every week.
I wear a mask every day, Taylor.
Fucking shit. Anyway, on that note, bye, guys.
Bye.
Don't be like Craigslist, make good choices.
Bye.